Australia and Foodland. Coming to you from Football Park, it's Adelaide versus Melbourne on AFL Today.
Welcome to Football Park here in South Australia. The finals race continues and it looks as though it's going to go right down to the wire. This should be another beauty. Adelaide versus Melbourne. Melbourne still believing they could make the finals. Adelaide, with this huge crowd here tonight, it's yet another sellout, are also confident of playing in their first AFL final. Of course, Neil Baum may have just a slight bonus because he is one person who's coached over here. He knows the players, the South Australian players, very well, and his Demons have a pretty good record against the Adelaide Crows. But Graham Corns, he's just been appointed for another 2 years, so he's very settled in his job, and the Adelaide Crows are looking to continue their march to the finals. When they last met, well, Melbourne defeated Adelaide in a very tight contest. That was at the MCG. Modra booted 5 for the Crows and that day. Lyon got 4 for the D's, but Melbourne were successful by 9 points. Joining me for this all-important match once again is former champ Ross Glendinning. And Roscoe, I say we've had final after final and it's probably getting a bit boring, but this is another one.
But it's true, Sandy. I mean, it is another huge game and it promises to be a beauty, particularly after the result from Perth today.
Yes, both sides out on the ground. If you were to pick a couple of key players, this man be one of them?
Oh, yes, terrific. I just admire this player so much. Youthful, but very, very clever. Uses his ability to read the game so very well. And a big job tonight playing against Jim Steins, who's just in outstanding form. And Ren, I know, will lift himself and do very, very well. And the other player who's come in for Melbourne, the spectacular Alan Jakovic. I mean, he can turn a game. He doesn't play that consistently. His form at Footy Park hasn't been that good the last few times he's played, but he is such a match winner. They'll need him to fire to do well tonight.
Yes, kicked 7 in the reserves last week, and Melbourne fans will be delighted to see him back.
Yes, and the player who might get that job, who usually gets all the big jobs on the big forwards, is Hart. Pittman at centre-half back's a very steady play. Bickley's been fantastic. I've mentioned Ren already, and Modra well. I mean, if he can continue his form, it makes a big difference. And then Melbourne, Gilbert, a big job. He's played on Modra before and done quite well. Glenn Lovett in outstanding form as well. Grinter's really complemented that forward line nicely, kicking 2 and 3 goals. And Obst is the player who does well as a tagger.
All right, thank you, Roscoe. Well, joining us tonight in the commentary position is a man who used to sign autographs for kids. Now he says he signs them for mothers and grandmothers. The one and only, the former great yodeler and singer and part-time footballer Peter McKenna. Good to have him with us tonight. And Maxie Stevens down on the boundary line. He'll be keeping us up to date with all that's happening from the sidelines. We'll take a break. Pete could be singing shortly. Stay with us.
The name of the game is Australia.
Ball Park here in South Australia. The Demons kicking to the right, the Crows to the left. As I said, Max is on the boundary line, keeping us up to date with everything and starting proceedings. Maxie with the Mitsubishi Motors ground report. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Sandy. Always a pleasure to work with you. And conditions here, we've had quite a bit of rain in Adelaide over the last couple of days as we check the wind here at Football Park. A west to southwesterly, 15 to 20 k's blowing across the ground from the members' side. No goal advantage. The ground condition very good. Slippery underfoot would be fair to say that. Forecast cool with showers. Overnight low at chilly 9 degrees. The current temperature 13 degrees. Humidity 60%.
Thank you, Max. Actually, you had a lot of rain early this morning, but it looks in pretty good nick. Your selection, Max?
Well, my heart says one thing, my brain says the other, so I'm going for Adelaide, Sandy.
Oh, you stunned us. And Ross Glendinning, your thoughts?
Adelaide.
Peter McKenna
behind the play.
Yes, I think it'll be very, very close, but I'm going for Melbourne.
Tregenza and Tingay just having a few words to say. There you can see on the wing.
Liptak and Hopgood also.
At half forward, yes. And the umpire's ignoring it. He's doing the sensible thing. Get on with the game. Well, now a few more have joined in. There's the siren to start official proceedings. Here we go. Let's forget the fighting and go back to the middle. Steins and Ren. Ren has a mighty charge at the ball but can't take it. Jimmy Steins gets the first kick down towards the half-forward line, but it's going to come back. It'll be a free kick to Melbourne for a tackle that was too high. And the D's will go through Todd Viney into attack. Gets the hand pass away to Phoebe. High up towards half forward. Lyon will be the target. Pittman got a hand to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Hart is there for the Crows. Wren gets the hand pass out towards Jamison. And Jamison will clear for the Crows. Going over the centre. Up towards Nigel Smart at half forward. Couldn't take the mark. Socket off the ground. Here's a chance for Bone. Still on the 50-metre line. No one able to get clear. Slightly slippery conditions. Graham Yates goes wide to the outer side. Lovett is there, pushing the ball along in front. Decides to hit even wider towards the boundary line. It's stolen by McDermott. He tries to get through with brute strength. Can't do so. And the ball will come back. In fact, a free kick. But as we have a look at the interchange, boys, Jarman and Wiedemann. Bit of throwing going on there from the Crows.
Len Lovett down towards the half-forward line. Jamison was the flyer. Todd Viney shoots it out. Out it comes to Steins. He's in the action already. Tingay from 45 metres. An open goal looms. And Stephen Tingay's kicked it. Yes. First blood to the Demons. Excellent team play by Melbourne.
Yes, exactly that, Pete. Taking full advantage of that free kick. And Tingay, who's got the job on for Tregenza. It's a good matchup. In fact, Melbourne have matched up very well here. And the pace of Tingay to try and counter the pace of Tregenza. We see this again. Viney featuring early. And Steins always good with his disposal. Picked the right option there, which was Tingay, and a terrific finish.
Stephen Tingay has been in fine form in recent weeks. Now, something wrong with the ball. It is going to be replaced. Darren Goldspink bringing it off. The emergency umpire bringing on the new ball. The conditions very, very good at Football Park. Ground in excellent condition, Ross, considering the rain.
No, ideal. And in fact, the rain's hot off nicely too, Pete, so let's hope it stays that way. Interchange Dyson and Stretch.
Well, already Jimmy Steins having an influence with two telling touches of wrestling going on behind the play. Number 30 you see on screen is Paul Hopgood. And he's wrestling, it looks like Matthew Liptak. Now, Wren, the big thump. 30-metre thump. Nigel Smart races after it. A very talented player. Taken away by Stephen Phoebe. That was good defensive play to the centre of the ground.
The wobbling ball moves towards line. He can't quite pick it up and in fact is met very, very solidly. Still in the middle. It's going to be tough tonight. McDermott loves the hard stuff. He's in the centre.
Free kick to Bickley though, Sandy, for holding on against Viney, I think it was. Fortunately there too, Sandy, because McDermott would have been pinged for holding the ball.
Yep. So Bickley to send the Crows into attack from the centre. Up towards half forward. Out comes Modra steaming. But it's belted away towards the boundary line. Belted wide. Lyon goes to ground. Tingay is there. He's kicked the only goal of the match so far. His hand pass finishes over the line for a throw-in. But it's in the Crows' left half forward region. They're looking for their first score.
Sorry, Sandy. Good matchup too. Bickley and Viney, two very good players. Instigators through the middle.
Wren and Steins. Wren coming over the top, trying to take it away, unsuccessful. Viney again. Tregenza steals it from the opposing number 12. Kicks up towards full forward. But the man they've got to stop is Mr. Modra.
Yeah, Phil Gilbert saying he touched it first, being in front. But better purchase on the footy was Modra from behind. Perhaps had reason there, Gilbert, to question the decision.
He's kicked 105 goals and 44 behinds for the season. He's kicking from 35 metres and almost directly in front. It should be a piece of cake. It is. Modra gets his first. And the Crows level the scores.
Yes, we said in the intro that Phil Gilbert has played on Modra on a few occasions and done pretty well on him because he has a bit of pace, deceptive. He's a strong-looking fellow, which is the other asset he does have. He likes to get in front as he did on that occasion, but Modra's just a slightly better jump and kicks the goal accordingly.
Scores a level here at Football Park after that goal to Tony Modra. He's had an excellent season, exciting player, very strong overhead, and I think the umpire had no hesitation in paying that mark. Even though Phil Gilbert might have got a fingernail on that one. Steins gets it to ground. Oh, they're going very, very hard, both sides. That was David Brown with the hand pass. Obst at the bottom of the pack, trying to get it out, and the umpire, Darren Goldspink, will come in and bounce. There's Andrew Obst, former Port Adelaide star. And they're very, very good, Ross, at the centre bounce area, Melbourne.
Yes, actually both sides are very good in that area, Pete.
Wren, the big thump forward. Tingo. Clever little hand pass. Bickley was held. Taken by Obbs. Obbs was looking out wide. It was taken by Greg Anderson. Anderson hooks it back to half forward. Smart in the centre of the pack. Taps it down looking for Bone. Oh, too high on Cow. Umpire pays the advantage. Oh, Melbourne loose players everywhere out on centre wing. Racing through with Phoebe. That's Matthew Phoebe. The two twins, of course. Matthew and Stephen playing. Pittman. Wide. Again, a loose player out there, and this time it's Greg Anderson. Anderson can chip it further afield. Scotty Lee. A casual bounce. Runs up the centre wing and brings it to the half-forward line. Bone, the youngster, very big, strong player. A hand pass back into Brown. Brown to full forward, but waiting back to take the mark, Jimmy Steins.
Steins from the back pocket. Had a wonderful run. It's back towards the half-back flank. Phoebe is there. Looked like a throw.
And 50.
So that's going to put the Crows well within scoring distance once again. Peter Rode can have a puzzled look on his face.
Well, that's because the player sometimes instinctively kicks the ball and doesn't know it's a 50-metre penalty, and he gets penalised for it.
Yeah, it's got to come back. The pass was given off by, was it Jamison? Yes, it is. He's a fair shot from there too, even if he was from 50, but he's obviously much closer there, 25. And he's a renowned goal kicker.
Yes, has kicked a few pressure goals in his career. Let's see what he can do. Kicking from 40 metres, 45-degree angle, a drop punt's on its way. He's put it straight through the middle. Jamison gets his first. And a 50-metre penalty helped the Crows get their second.
Yes, and Rod Jamison, who's actually playing on a half-back flank. He's picking up Peter Rode. In a position he probably wasn't all that familiar with. He's played on the wing, he's ruck-roved, he played full forward, very versatile type. Just trying to find his spot in this side. Maybe half-back is that position.
Back in the middle once again. 6 points the margin. Favouring Adelaide. But very early on, Wren stands his ground. McDermott tries to get the hand pass away towards Bickley. Now Anderson, a hurried left foot kick. That's 3 kicks in 5 minutes. But it's going to come back and he'll get another one. Tackle too high. Just around the head region. So the former bomber has returned home to complete his senior football career. One of the game's most decorated players in South Australia. Here's his kick. Up towards half forward. Smart!
This is going to Pittman for holding on, Sandy. With a drop Marco Smart. Terrific.
Here's Pittman. He'll want Modra. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's a good mark, Modra.
It is, Pete, isn't it? If you want front position, and he had to stand his ground. There was some flying fists behind trying to knock the ball away, but he just kept his eye on the ball. See the few attempts there by Gilbert. Another one, hand over the shoulder a bit too. Good control.
Yes, it would have been a free kick anyway, I think, Ross.
I think so. Right hand of Gilbert over Modri's shoulder.
Here he goes directly in front, but that's away to the left, and that's a disappointing kick. A wasted opportunity there for Tony Modra.
And you can hear the sighs of the crowd as he missed that one. He's certainly the idol of the Adelaide Crows supporters. Here's Brett Lovett to the half-back line. Bone was there and Neitz. Good attempt by Neitz, but didn't quite take it. Brown, a quick hand pass. He was looking for McGuinness, taken by Cowell. Very quick player, Darren Cowell, on the left foot to centre wing. Thumped the ground by Jamison. Here's Chris McDermott. Keeps the ball in play. It's still on centre wing. Andrew Obbs. Oh, he gives a hand pass straight to Jamison. McDermott again in towards the half-forward line. And a good attempt and a nice mark taken by David Neitz, a promising young player. Can play at both ends of the ground. Neitz. Centre wing. Packer, good attempt by, in fact, it's a mark to Wren. And I think we're in for a terrific contest here, two evenly matched sides.
Yes, and both Wren and Steins playing that kit behind the play too, Pete.
So Sean Wren chips it in short and found big Randall Bone. Big lump of a fellow and only 19 years of age. Very strong overhead. In towards half forward. Steins, as you said, Ross, getting into that area at half back. Oh, it's a dangerous hand pass. Gets it further afield. That was to Hopgood. Tingay's on centre wing, but it beats him over the line.
Darren Cowell picking up McGuinness. A good match up there. Cowell got terrific pace. See how his fitness is. McGuinness probably the fittest player in the AFL.
Steins and Wren. In fact, the pack comes over the top. Rashudo gets it across to Tregenza. Pulls it round his body. Just a fraction too high for Nigel Smart. Plenty of pressure early on both defences, and that's probably what it's going to be. Lovett takes it close to the boundary line and eventually over. There's Brown for another throw-in. But this ground in excellent condition. A lot of rain fell this morning, but it's drained extremely well. Plenty of grass on it. McGuinness the stealer. The advantage paid down towards the half-forward line. Melbourne perhaps a little fortunate there. I don't think that the Crow player knew that advantage had been played, and they weren't able to go on with it. Tregenza accepts the hand pass. He's got a bit of space now. Some good shepherding. Keeps Cowell out of the race. Tregenza from 55 metres. Sets sail for home, and Modra. Over the back it goes. And it will be seen by Lovett to go over the line for a throw-in in the right forward pocket for the Crows.
Yes, as you said, Sandy, good shepherd by McGuinness. Kept Cowell out, who was the chase person to make the chase, who was very quick. Very important.
So forward pocket for Adelaide. Bone does the ruck work, thumps it straight back to the boundary line, and over it goes for another throw-in. There's, well, almost a sellout crowd looking around the ground. There's hardly a spare seat. So they've come out again in force. Wren gets it to ground. Desperate play by Phoebe. Brown gets it to Wren. A good attempt on the left foot, but he's hooked it and out on the full. But very mobile for a big man, Sean Wren. Roscoe?
Yeah, great future this player. I mean, a lot of people have said that, but they say it because it's true. Terrific ability and application to go with it.
Well, this is Phil Gilbert. He's got the big job on Tony Modra. To the half-back line. Oh, that's a nice mark by Neitz. I really like this player.
Started well, Pete, hasn't he?
Well, he's a top player. I saw him in the wet a few weeks ago against St Kilda. He handled the ball as if it was a dry day. And for a guy who's about 6'3", showing tremendous potential.
Graham Corns, no doubt relieved that his term has been extended for another couple of years. Good luck to him. He's done a good job since taking over. Love it. Accepts the hand pass from Steins, goes up towards half forward. The D's looking for another score here. Phoebe's kick goes in towards Jakovic. A bit of use of the body was good. Jacko will go off the ground. Oh, but he's wide this time. And the crowd giving him the round with the kitchen. One behind. But he's the sort of player who can change the pattern of a game in minutes. He's dynamic, and it's good to have these sort of players in the game. We've got Modra up at the other end. Hart. Bring it back into play. Looking to the Adelaide Hills, and it's very, very dark and bleak. Lights are on here at the park, and we're going to have ourselves a decent old ball game, I'm sure of that. Wren and Steins. The Crow got in front. Wren quick to tackle Phoebe. Steins couldn't take it cleanly. Tingay comes through to Lovett. Promising Sturge here. Lyon back to Lovett. A high kick under pressure. They're inside 50 now. Tingay flies from the side. Can't take the mark. Rashudo over the top to McDermott. And the skipper will steady the ship. He kicks towards centre wing, but there's a couple there. 2 on 1. And eventually taken over. Jimmy Steins lost sight of the ball. It was then left to Paul Hopgood. He couldn't complete the mark. And so a throw in on centre wing.
Adelaide by 6 points. Wren and Steins. Wren won that one. The umpires found a free kick a little bit soft, I thought.
Was, Pete.
To Jimmy Steins, right in front of us here in the commentary box on centre wing. Steins. The half forward. Oh, Mark. No, he didn't quite hold it long enough. That was Peter Rode. Good tackle on Jamison by Andrew Obbs. Tremendous tackle. And he has been penalised, Rodney Jamison, for holding the ball. So Obbs will kick from about 55, and that's 50 metres. The ball was handled well over the head of Andrew Obbs, and that is unforgivable, Ross.
Yes, and Chris McDermott giving a stare to Rod Jamison, those sort of things. Former Glenelg teammates, you just don't do that. That situation.
It'll be a gimme goal. Certainly the distance was in doubt where he was going to kick from.
No doubt now.
Not now. As he kicks. Oh, has he got it? Just.
The name of the game is Australia.
Midway through the first quarter, under 14 and a half minutes remaining. As Wren and Steins do battle in the middle once again. It's Bickley who gets a hurry kick towards half forward, but only as far as that position. Melbourne defence pretty solid at the moment. Lovett is on centre wing. Oh, it's going to be stolen here by Rashido. He storms through but can't pick up the spinning ball. Tingay sees it towards the line and then flicks it back to accommodate Lovett. Lovett gets a hurried left foot kick towards Lovell on centre wing. Can't take it cleanly. It comes to Steins. Clever kick. Found a bit of space. Peter Rode comes charging at the football. He did keep it in, but that was probably not a good idea because he's given it away straight to Tregenza. Tregenza goes back towards half forward once again. Oh, Yates was crunched. McGuinness is clear. Danger here for Melbourne as the Crows go down towards Modra. One grab, couldn't complete it. Free kick, he was held, and he'll have a shot directly in front, 35 out.
There's Phil Gilbert knowing that he held on to Modra. Just did it very cleverly there, Modra too. Started behind but got himself in front. Just watching the flight of the ball. There's the holding on across the shoulder. Difficult play to contain, Tony Modra, particularly when the ball comes down like that.
And he plays in front, Ross, at every opportunity, which is the way you should play full forward.
He's going for his second. That is 107th for the year. Well, again, it's not pretty off the boot. And again, it's a behind. So the champ frittering away chances.
Two bad misses, and he won't like that, Tony Modra.
Particularly if it becomes a low-scoring game, if this weather comes through.
Yeah.
They're vital ones missed.
Balm just breathes a sigh of relief. Phoebe marks on the half-back. This is Matthew Phoebe, left-footer. To centre wing, and Peter Rode was his target. Taken by Yates, but they're going to lose it. Well played by Mark Visca. Anderson back again towards Brown, in towards full forward. Steins just drifting across, and he takes a timely.
He's a great player. I think he'll go very, very close to the Brownlow medal again this year. He's had a fine season. Out wide is Obst, who's also had a great season. Now he can chip it across here. Glenn Lovett, the best and fairest winner of last year for Melbourne, brings it towards centre wing. It's a race on for the ball. Gary Lyons got a couple to beat. Very clever play. On to Andy Lovell. Lovell in towards the pocket. The lead is on. No mark to Djakovic. Ben Hart with the pace to go with him. Hart still going there. So is Cowell. Oh, look at this for speed by Cowell. Tremendous play. 50 metres from goal. He fires it in and puts it out in the full. Much to the delight of the Adelaide crowd.
That's had a turn of speed though. As Lee brings it back into play. Rashido marks. He's tucked underneath the main scoreboard here at Football Park, so still really in the back pocket. Now directs play up towards the wing. Lyon was there, and he will propel Melbourne back into attack. Lovell was loose, but he elects to go longer. Grinter's his target. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball as yet, however. Couldn't complete the mark. Back in towards the centre, but only as far as Graham Yates. Good player for Melbourne. Lovell on the 50. Now he can go on with it here. Andy Lovell from 40 metres steadies and shoots in towards goal and has put it through. So Lovell gets his first, and Melbourne hit the front. They lead 3-1 to Adelaide, 2-2.
Well, they haven't panicked, Melbourne, which is a good sign. They realise that they've just, the play that Adelaide have had, they've just stood tall here, Melbourne, just kept competing. Their half forwards have run forward to give some space to Djakovic down the back there, and Grinter, and Lovell always good around goals. Finished off very well.
The Demons by 5 points. As we go back to the centre, Steins versus Wren. Both doing pretty well for the respective teams, but both missed that hit out. Sock it off the ground, in towards half-forward. That was Bone getting it towards Tregenza. They've lost it though. Hopgood. Further afield is Todd Viney. Now Glenn Lovett to the half-forward line. Peter Rhodes, had two to beat. Lays the tackle on Rashido. Taken away by Jamison. Beautiful kick in towards half-back. Big Sean Wren. Chris McDermott to half-forward. good use of the body by Stephen Phoebe. Steins comes in the lend of hand. Here's Nigel Smart. Races in the goal. And Nigel Smart kicks it. Good play by the centre-half forward. And Adelaide now lead by a point.
Yes, and it was good play across half-back by the Crows players because they were under pressure. The way Melbourne brought it out of the centre there. McDermott, terrific kick from that player. But Smart here, basically against two. Steins getting to try to tap it away, but Smart just intercepted beautifully. Got the call in the square to keep going from Modra, and he did that. Big job to Stephen Phoebe playing centre-half back on Smart.
Wren and Steins to do battle in the middle once again. Just a point the difference, favouring the home side. Phoebe and Smart. Some great duels around the ground set up for this clash. Wren wins it again. Cowell takes it away. Obst gets a high kick up towards the half-forward line. Rashido in front takes a good mark in opposition to Andy Lovell.
He's one of the players, Sandy, too, who's really lifted in his first season, doing very well.
Kicks up towards Smart once again on half-forward. This time it's belted away from him. Brown goes for the fist. It's not effective, however. Lover overruns it. The door opens for McGuinness. McGuinness back to Rashido on centre wing. Kicks to the half-forward line once again. But this time Melbourne having the numbers and they're able to get clear. Neitz does it well. He's impressive. Into the middle. Fine grab by Anderson. Quickly lays the hand pass off to Mark Visca. Back to Anderson, still in the middle, pumps it up towards Wren and Tregenza. The smaller man takes it. Now they've got a chance to run. Jamison has a bounce. He's down the half forward. 60 metres out. He heads for home. It's a long kick in towards full forward. No mark taken. Right in the square and belted over eventually by the D's for one behind.
Jimmy Sanderson, if he had just held that mark, it was a terrific lead-up.
So Adelaide lead by 2 points. 3-3. It's 3-1.
Phil Gilbert to bring the ball back into play. The lead's going everywhere, but Anderson read it well. Good mark, Greg Anderson. He's doing well out in that wing. Very experienced player, the former Bomber wingman.
Got Matthew Phoebe as a tag, so the Phoebe brothers got big jobs.
So Greg Anderson, that left foot kick, it's a booming kick in towards the pocket. Steins comes across the back and thumps it over the line. So good play by the big man, and as you can see those pieces of paper, probably the breeze favouring the end that Melbourne's kicking to, but not by a lot. So forward pocket, Wren hooks it back in front of goal. Lip back, hand pass McGuinness. Round the corner goes Tony McGuinness. And what's he done with this? He's missed. And he thought it was a goal. So does Tony Modra. They're both disputing that one. And the crowd, let's see if we can pick it up. There's the kick.
Guaranteed the umpire won't change his mind.
Well, we certainly wouldn't be able to tell from here. But two Adelaide players really disagree with that decision.
Well, the bottom line is, as Roscoe said, it's not going to change. Tingo is on centre wing. It's Mark Visca, but now goes back to take his kick. Goes in towards the centre, towards Road, fisted away from him. McGuinness will pump them into attack again, down to the half-forward line. He delivers it well. Randall Bone is on left half-forward. McGuinness looks in ominous form. Modra taken out of it. And Gilbert looks in trouble.
As he collided with his mate Jimmy Steins, he caught one on the eye. Just got an elbow on the left eye, I think.
Well, he's able to get up and take his kick, and he's okay because he's given it straight to Steins. Off to Lovett, back towards centre wing. Oh, two opposing players went to ground, and it's gone against Peter Road for holding on. He gives a look as if he can't believe it. So Jamison, who's on centre wing, will send the Crows deep into attack. Made a bad blue earlier in the night, gave away 50, resulted in a goal. Smart was the fly, couldn't complete the mark. Look at that tackle, it is a beauty. The ball locked in.
He's done well, Neitz.
Oh, he's a good player.
Only 18 years of age, and he's taken some good grabs. Got the better of Bone.
At half forward, for the Crows. Viney got the high one. Gives it to Cowell. He almost gets pinged. Viney gets it out. Now the advantage is going to be paid. Matthew Phoebe towards centre wing. Lyon had front spot. Pittman was with him. It's going to be a free kick going to the Melbourne skipper. Best and fairest a couple of years ago. He kicks up towards Grinter. Marks on left half forward. Melbourne just keeping it steady. Love it in the middle. Crows are making a change. Jarman will come onto the ground, much to the delight, no doubt, of this crowd. Lovell has it belted away. Viney, almost a good interception. Lovell could have been leg, got the ball out. Oh, McDermott written into the ground, and he'll get a free kick at half-back.
Yes, Brenton Sanderson was the player who's come off for Jarman. Jarman's gone into that forward line.
Chris McDermott gives it across to Jamison. Now it's Bickley. Fine season by Bickley. In towards centre wing. Neats again. The booming kick. In towards full forward. Grinter and Jakovic are there. It clears the pack. They both looked at each other. Taken away by Scott Lee. Lee the clearing kick right out towards half-back. Big Wren goes up. Can't take it. He's got backup support from Anderson. Greg Anderson from the half-back line brings it in towards centre-half forward. Stephen Phoebe versus Smart. Hopgood's there too. Smart going on with a good play by the centre-half forward. Here's danger. Jarman drops it. That could be holding the ball. Not paid. Yates gives it across to Lovett. Lovett further field to Jimmy Steins. One of those clever little kicks. Look at that. To Matthew Phoebe. He is a great player, Steins. Matthew Phoebe to the half-forward line, looking for Gary Lyon. Pittman at the back, thumps it to ground. That was good play. Ginza, look for the hand pass in, bombs it in long towards Motra. Over the back is Gilbert. They race after it. Hopgood versus Jarman. It's tapped back. Good play by young Hopgood. Brett Lovett to Cowell. Cowell can chip it wide. He's looking for Glenn Lovett. Lovett races after. He had two to beat, but he socketed off the ground to the half-forward line. Peter Road races at it. That's good football. Socket away towards the boundary line, though. Number 32 for Adelaide, of course, was the shootout. Now Jamison in towards half-forward. Nigel Smart. Almost a mark. Good attempt. As the ball cleared the line at half-forward for Adelaide.
Throw in on the left half-forward flank for the Crows. They lead by 3 points with under 4.5 minutes remaining in this first term.
Sanderson on the bench.
Off. Yep. And Jarman getting a chance, having a run in the first quarter. Steins, Obst was at the back. He got crunched, but he did get the hand pass away. Put Viney under a bit of pressure. Brown gets it out. Hurry kick by Bone is wide and touched off the boot, so it will be a throw in, no free kick. Very tight first quarter. Melbourne hanging in. From the throw in, it's McGuinness. Pumps it long, in towards full forward, over the head of Modra and Gilbert, who appears to have recovered. Modra tries to soccer off the ground, and that ricocheted off the Melbourne boot and is out in the full.
Yes, Brett Lovett a bit stiff there. It came off his boot, quite right, Sandy. Trying to bring it back into play with his left boot was Modra, then the momentum of Lovett just carried it across the boundary line on the full.
So Modra gets another chance. He's kicked only the one, but he's been off target with a couple. He's trying the check side. He wants to bend it back. And he's failed again. 1-3, Roscoe.
Yes.
Well, kicking like that is keeping Melbourne close at hand. The margin just 4 points.
So Phil Gilbert certainly going to have his work cut out tonight. As the kick to half-back, looking for Cal. He's a very, very quick player. Onto the left foot. Slung as he kicked it to centre wing. Look at Jimmy Steins racing around like a much smaller man. Centre wing is McGuinness appealing for the free kick, and the umpire's paying it for holding the man.
Yeah, clever there, McGuinness. Knew he was under pressure and just tapped the ball forward. Knew he was going to be tackled.
So off he goes to swing onto that favoured left boot. In towards half-forward. Nigel Smart back to the flight of the ball. Read that beautifully, and it was a well-weighted kick too. So Smart, probably one of the best defenders in the competition, Ross. But with Robrin out and Maynard, they are forced to play him at centre-half forward.
Yes, and that allows, with Pittman doing quite well at centre-half back, to allows Graham Corns to leave Smart there.
So Nigel Smart for his second. A floating drop punt won't quite make the distance. And a quick kick. This could be a goal to lip tack. Yes. So the Crows forge ahead with just over 2 minutes to go till quarter time. A handy one to lip tack. They lead now by 10 points.
Yes, well, after an early struggle, Liptak with Hopgood had a bit of trouble with his left eye. Looks as if he's recovered okay. This is clever. Modra did well there to get that ball forward. And then off the ground, Liptak, that's terrific. That's what the Rovers there for.
.29 plays 19, favouring the Crows. They go down to the half-forward line once again. Nigel Smart came over the top and wanted to sneak away. But it's a Melbourne free kick. And it will be taken by the youngster who's done so well in Neitz. In fact, he's paid the mark. Anderson, out of side, a hurried kick. Lovett could be first to it. With him is Rashudo, close to the boundary line, and Rashudo makes sure both his opponent and the ball are over.
Yes, Rashudo's got the job on Glenn Lovett.
So a throw in on centre wing. Anderson again, McDermott. Always at the bottom of the pack. Bickley gets the hand pass away. They're trying to set something up. Rashudo back to Anderson. A long penetrating kick up towards half forward. No one at home, however. Graham Yates marks for Melbourne. From half back. Back towards centre wing once again. Lyon almost taking the mark. He's on all fours. And blow me down, it's still in play. Oh, well, everyone stopped. I think they assumed that it was going to be a throw-in. Wren now with Lovett. That's David and Goliath, and this time Anderson is over the boundary line.
That's the value of Sean Wren and even Jim Steins, that they can battle on the ground with the small blokes, get up, run on again, boundary throw-in, centre bounces. They can do the lot.
Yes,
terrific stuff.
Both very mobile players, and there's Wren. He tries to grab it out of the ruck contest. It'll be a bounce. Getting close to quarter time, and Andrew Obbs had Sean Wren in tackle. The big fella gets up. Very promising young ruckman.
I noticed that Mr. Obst is wearing one, isn't he?
Yes.
So Wren. Jamison comes over the back. Rashudo gets it to Tony McGuinness, who's called a throw, I think. And he's not happy, McGuinness. As the kick comes in towards the pocket, Jakovic is there at the back. Ben Hart. Now, Matthew Phoebe. On it comes to Jakovic. An open goal. He kicks. Oh, will it be paid? He's missed anyway. Ooh. But it has been paid. It was a fine line. He should have kicked that, Alan Jakovic. Right on quarter time. For the quarter time here at Football Park. And a terrific game. Adelaide 4-5-29. Lead Melbourne 3-2-20.
Match was played earlier today at Subiaco. There's been a lot of criticism about that ground. It did not concern the home team, West Coast. 10-7-67, eclipsing Hawthorn. A very disappointing 6-9-45, and the Hawks at the moment on a slide. In the other match played today, that was in Melbourne, and North Melbourne returning to the winners list in a big fashion. 19-14, 128. Richmond 11-18, 84. So the Roos are back on track for a chance for glory come September. And here at Football Park, pretty tight first quarter. Adelaide sneaking away in the closing stages with a late goal. 4-5-29. Melbourne a 3-2-20. As Neil Baum leaves Football Park, remaining out there with his latest report is Maxie Stevens. Max?
Thanks, Andy. Well, Neil Baum claims the Demons were allowing Adelaide to get the ball far too easily. He spent a lot of time talking to individuals during the break, and he wants the ball moved in far more quickly to the forwards. Graham Corns, he wants the members' side use this quarter, concentrate on using it, because as you said in commentary, that ball, that wind is on the members' side, and it's going to favour the southern end.
Thank you, Max. Wren prepares himself in the middle once again as we go into the second quarter here at Football Park, and it's a bounce that favours the big South Australian. He gets the knock, but it goes straight to Cowell, who drifts it down towards the left half forward flank region. Andy Lovell was his target, but beating him is Mark Visca. Does well. Kicking back towards centre wing, kicking to a bit of space, and seeing it over the line was Graham Yates. The umpire said, now, Yatesy, you can't do that. That was a little too deliberate.
Yes, he conceded pretty early, really. He could have come back or even handball back into play.
So Liptak takes it. He goes towards Nigel Smart. Got a hand to it. Couldn't complete the mark. There was some holding on there anyway, and it's going to go to Randall Bone.
Yeah, changed by Neil Barb to a quarter time. Gilbert's off. Stretch is on. Stretch has gone on to Smart, and Phoebe just there onto Modra.
Fisted away from Modra, as you just saw. Stretch got a hand, but that was all to it. Tingay intercepted by Tregenza. Can't get it away cleanly, however. Working hard, trying to set something up. Bickley from a standing start. Back to half forward. Oh, they all lost sight of it, including Steins. Cowell lost it through his fingers. Steins tried to soccer off the ground. Now the big man goes in and gets it out to Phoebe. It's a high kick. Brown is underneath it. Tingay comes to challenge, and he knocks it towards safety and over the line in front of the big scoreboard.
So they're a bit undersized, Melbourne, in that back line. See Phoebe going back onto Modra, as I mentioned, and Stretch, who's normally a wingman, playing centre half back on Smart.
So Adelaide half forward flank. Oh, look at the leap on Smart. There's a quick kick by Liptak up in front of goal. A big chance here for Adelaide. Oh, Anderson, a good attempt. Well played though by Steve Phoebe. Now this could be holding the ball. No, play on. As the hand pass comes out to Tingay. Back to Watts. Matthew Phoebe on the left foot to the half forward line. Oh, great mark by Gary Lyon. That's class. Now he can chip it across.
Oops.
Oh, that was terrific play. Well read by Visca. He was out of position and he read it beautifully across there to Bickley. Bickley to Wren. Wren has dropped the sitter. He was looking in there for McDermott. Chris McDermott. Cowell is there. So is Steins. Obst also. Brown gets it out. Finally a hand pass comes out to Bickley on to McGuinness. McGuinness at half forward. He races to 50 metres, hooks it in front of goal. A big chance for a mark, but no one can do it. Here's Liptak, goes to ground. Play on, calls the umpire. That's good umpiring. Modra from the boundary line. A terrific attempt by Modra across the face. And in fact, it's a free kick that hit the post, I think, the behind post. So out in the full. Stretch, who was on the ground, as Ross said. Former South Australian himself, Stephen Stretch, a beautiful kick of a football. And that's a booming kick out to the half-back line. Wren sets himself at the back. In fact, it was Bone. Bone, a quick hand pass to Tregenza, who races to 50. Touched off the boot. In towards full forward. Modra gets in a quick hand pass, but Lovett is there to mop up. Gives it further forward to Stretch, a touch of the fumbles, but he's got the pace to come away with it and give it across to Graham Yates.
Graham Yates goes from the back pocket. Not a well-directed kick, and that one just sticks. Good mark taken by the youngster Bone. On he goes once again to Rashudo. Still outside 50, now well in. It's a high kick. Phoebe stands his ground, takes a strong move. Matthew Phoebe. Back to half-back. Cowell can go over the top to Lovett. Does so now. He's got a bit of room to move. Puts it out in front of his skipper, who will see it skid over the line. Within his Pittman. And so a throw-in just in Melbourne's attacking zone.
Yes, and Dyson's on the ground as well. He's replaced Peter Road.
So Melbourne ringing in the changes. So to Graham Corns, giving Jarman a go. He came on in the first quarter. Aaron Goldspink decides he'll have the ball. Wren picks himself up. Improved so much. He contests the bounce with Lyon. And he's picked out a free kick. Going to go the way of Melbourne for holding on. And it's going to go to Cowell. Darren Cowell. Centering to half forward, wanting Grinter. Went up with the one hand. Wren's going to do the roving work here. Oh, the big man does well. Hart almost had his head taken off. He was able to get it to Scotty Lee, who pumps it back straight to Jimmy Steins. Well, it was almost as if he'd picked him out. Couldn't have done it any better. And Steins able to step past to Andy Lovell, who's still just outside 50. Lovell will head down towards Jakovic. He's got Grinter offering a lead in the pocket, but he ignores that and he elects to go the other side. It's a high kick in towards the forward line. And that's a fine grab taken by Wren.
In fact, I think the free kick's going to Hart. It is for holding on, Sandy. Right. Still, it was a great grab by Wren.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? So Hart at full back.
Or was it a push out?
Well, I don't know. I was
still
too busy watching the mark. He deserved the football. But nevertheless, the team's got it, and that's, I guess, the most important thing. Well, there's holding on there. And this time it's going the way of Pittman, and Gary Lyon says, "You're joking, aren't you?"
Crowd looking for 50.
They won't get it. Not on here. Pittman takes it. Gets underneath a drop punt. Smart doesn't fly. Has the ball with Stretch at the bottom of the pack. Brown tries to come away. He's ridden into the ground by Obst. And another bounce. 9 points the margin, favouring the Crows.
Well, it's on centre wing. The match really in the balance. Two evenly contesting sides here. Glenn Lovett to the half-forward line. That was Bickley going to the line, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was Visca. Mark Visca receiving the free kick. Transfers play across to Wren. Big Sean Wren. Centre of the ground, brings it in towards the halfway line. Jarman over the back. Danger here for Melbourne, because when Jarman gets it, he's very dangerous. Looking for Modra. Modra was held. Free kick to Modra.
Yeah, well called, Pete.
Very, very early. He was grabbed there by Stephen Phoebe and had to receive the free kick.
Yeah, the ruckman doing well for both sides. Wren getting back again and using the ball cleverly, and the kick coming down to Modra was a good one.
So Tony Modra has kicked 1 goal 3. He's directly in front, 30 metres out. Be a handy little break for Adelaide if he kicks straight. A low trajectory drop punt for a goal. Tony Modra has kicked his second, and the Crows doing it well. 5-5, plays 3-2.
Yes, so the Crows half-back line, Pete, are on top. Rashudo, Visca, Pittman having a good battle with Lyon, and you've got Jamison who picked up Road. He's now picking up Dyson. They're holding their own very well, and Hart's doing nicely on Djakovic. So their back line is really holding together very nicely.
Two goals, 3 to Tony Modra. Out of Adelaide's 5-5, and lead Melbourne 3-2, a margin of 15 points. It's the biggest margin we've had in this game as Wren belts it out of the centre. Tony McGuinness has what golfers know as an airy. Cowell comes through. His hand passes towards his skipper Lyon. Off to Phoebe. Now Melbourne go forward. Matthew Phoebe's kick up towards the left half forward region. Grinter takes it. He got one hand to it, but that was all. And Scott Lee decides to defend and sock it back to the centre wing boundary area.
And that's that back line effectiveness I was talking about at the break there, Sandy. They really have done well across half-back, and those little things in the full-back area make such a big difference.
The determination showing on Wren's face. With him is Steins. Obst comes over the back. Pittman is down in front, and it's locked up there with Lyon, who's sandwiched into the ground. Critical game for both sides. Adelaide, what's happened to Hawthorn today, realising that they can climb the ladder quite substantially. Melbourne believing also they can make the final still if they can keep winning. Obst gives it away to Matthew Phoebe. He goes in towards the pocket. Djakovic with the fly, but he couldn't take the mark, and Cowell is bundled over the line.
We've seen Cowell's tagging McGuinness, but at that scuffle on the wing there, he actually dropped right back to half-back, playing a kick behind.
But not a good place to kick that ball in, was it really? Djakovic leading to the
here.
flank. Should have centred that in towards the goal area and put pressure on the Adelaide defence. There's McDermott going to ground and held to him. The umpire has said Chris McDermott thumped out of the way.
Good battle between two very fierce competitors in McDermott and Obst.
And the big grin on the face from the captain. Oh, there's a free kick to Lyon. He was held. After he lost the ball, he was held. And Gary Lyon, the recipient of this free kick, on a 45-degree angle, 25 metres from goal. Big Sean Redden looks on now. You can see he was pinged after the ball had been knocked clear. So the hoots of the crowd. So a lot of pressure on the captain of Melbourne, Gary Lyon. The breeze across the ground. There's the kick. Oh, swings away. 1 point only. So no kick tonight will be an easy kick, Ross.
And that's very indicative of how the breeze blows, Pete, at this end of the ground. Just pushes it from left to right a smidge.
So down to Rashido on centre wing. He looked as though he may have played on then, but now goes back to take his kick. 14 points the margin. lip tack to half forward, but once again holding up proceedings is David Neitz. He's had a fine game to date. So too is Jimmy Steins, picking up a ton of possessions. He's had a fine season. Having his first senior game some 6 years ago now. It's amazing how quickly time flies. Lovett has got to chase, but he won't get there in time, and Wren takes the mark.
The ball held up in the breeze again, Sandy. Blowing from the left full pocket, left of screen to the right at the other end.
And that one slews off the side. Tingay should grab that. Not exactly productive work at the moment, but this wind is making it anything but easy. Tingay's kick, well, as he picked out Anderson, it almost looked like that. Phoebe's kick is partly smothered. Jamison now has a chance for a bit of a run. 3 bounces. Then goes inside 50. And Modra gave a push. And he virtually pushed Stephen Phoebe right into the ball. He finds Yates almost down to centre wing. Graham Yates comes inside towards the centre. The pass is a good one. He'll take it back once again from Lovell. A left foot pass up to half forward. Grinder's on his own. Thought about going back and playing on then. Now he passes short and he finds his target. No, he didn't hold it long enough. Jakovic hard all over the back of him, and the umpire comes in and says, I'll have it.
He should have marked that.
Should have held that one. Really should.
They're the sorts of things that he's inclined to do at times. His last outing here, I think, would have been the state game when he played for WA. He just couldn't quite...
Oh, goodness me. Well, something went on in that pack. Now, there's Lyon thumping it away. Quick kick was by McDermott. Greg Anderson on centre wing. Oh, good play by Anderson. Still got control of the ball. Still going on with it. So is the Melbourne player, Matthew Phoebe. Now it's Glenn Lovett. And eventually, Anderson got a free kick. I think he was legged.
Have to get it for persistence anyway.
Well, he did work hard for it. Greg Anderson. In towards half forward. Oh, well played, son. This kid is going to be a champion, Neitz. He is a terrific player. Good tackle on stretch. That's holding the ball. Tremendous tackle by Nigel Smart. Well, he could have given it off to Brown. Then Brown was on his left foot too. Nigel Smart will look down for Modra. Jimmy Steins comes back to lend a hand. Well played by the big fella. Steve Phoebe. Now Jarman. Jarman gets away from Steins. Oh, look at the tackling on McGuinness. They came from everywhere. Stretch was one. Todd Viney the other. Still in play. In fact, umpire is called. Oh, boy. Well, it's twice that's happened. Players have stopped. Prosciutto from 60 metres. Set it up to the pocket. Modra. No mark. Umpire calls play on. The whistle went up. David Brown. Todd Viney. Jimmy Steins. Look at that. Back towards Neitz. Todd Viney. Andrew Jarman. Socked forward by Tony McGuinness over the line, right beside the behind post, so it'll be a throw-in.
Wyman preparing to come on. Isn't it a ferocious sight?
Yes, the Adelaide runner just waiting for this play to sort itself out so he can make the change.
He'll be keen to get a run the weed. Ran. Bit of an elbow.
He made sure the umpire saw that one, Steins, didn't he?
An exaggerated push, you could call it perhaps. Oh, Prosciutto fell at the critical stage. Magnificent pick-up on the half volley by Lyon. Showing all the skill, but his kick goes straight to Tregenza. Now a chance, McDermott shrugs the tackle of Tingay. And he's going to get a free kick anyway. Well, he's still having that conversation with Obbs. They've had quite a chat so far tonight. He kicks towards Pittman. Big man got a hand to it. Jarman. Oh, he ran it beautifully. He may well goal here. Lovely kick.
Well, the lead is out to 20 points. Adelaide having a good term as Wren gets it down. Quick hand pass. Kick by Visca. In towards the half-forward line. Neitz ran at it. He missed it. Tony McGuinness to the half-forward line. Brett Lovett read it well. Kicks it around the boundary line. He's looking out there for Tingay, who waits. Now, how will the umpire see this one? I think he's going to bounce as he races in. On the bottom of that pack was Bickley, and Graham Corns on the phone to David Brown.
There's Neil Barnes taking Cowell off McGuinness. Cowell's gone to a forward pocket. Looks as if Viney's now picking up McGuinness.
Tingay's kick is smothered off the boot and goes over the line on the outer side. Goals this quarter to Jarman and Modra, but they haven't been easy to get. In fact, Melbourne have added just one behind so far for the quarter. It's been very tough. Love it. Does it nicely. But they want goals, Melbourne. They're going to stay in this game and stay in the finals race. Wren marks on centre wing.
And that player on screen there taking that mark, or on the mark, Dyson is now picking up Bickley.
His kick. Neats again. Well, he tried to take it like a slips catch. Couldn't do so, and the ball is tucked in between the legs down there.
An 18-year-old there, Neats, playing on a 19-year-old in Bone. So, sign of the times. They're getting younger and younger in AFL football.
Yep. It's good to see these youngsters coming through the ranks and really challenging.
Well, I suppose they all seem pretty young to you, Pete.
Yeah, so
Thanks, Ross.
Still busy signing the autographs, of course. They're now mothers and grandmothers.
It's a worry.
Love it. Now McDermott, Tingay and Tregenza. It's over the line. Under 9.5 minutes remaining. Very, very tight contest. But the home side has the ascendancy at the moment. Steins pushes down in front. He was looking for Tingay, but it's taken by McGuinness up to the half-forward line, and the mark taken by Bone. Well, he's a big lad. Has a look up forward. Modra's his man. Couldn't take it past Yates, past Wiedemann. Phoebe shrugs the Wiedemann tackle and gets the hand pass away. Now Melbourne a chance through Dyson to go over centre wing. Dyson's kick taken by Cowell, drifts it back into the centre. That's marvellous play. Phoebe takes it, goes up towards Jakovic. This time he takes the mark. Inside 50, Alan Jakovic. He hasn't scored a goal tonight. He booted 7 in the reserves last week. This time out in front of Hart. And Melbourne need one.
This is pressure, isn't it, with the crowd all hooting in?
Yes, there's as much hooting going on as when, wasn't so much hooting when Wiedemann came on, but more a cheering, arousing applause.
Jakovic, drop punt, away to the right. Listen to the roaring applause. You know he's missed. So one behind goes on the board for the D's. 6-5 plays 3-4. And he's got 3 behinds, Roscoe, to his credit. And now he's just having a bit of a chat with Hart.
In 50 metres. Is that against Jakovic, do you think?
I assume that, but I had a quick look down the ground at something else that was happening, but...
well, they're still going, those two. Anyway, it's come to Rashudo. He goes long and low to Smart. Gee, that's a finely delivered ball. Now he'll in turn look for Modra. Or Pittman, they're both down there. Modra the diver. Fine grab. Well, I love him here in South Australia. He's probably got the highest profile of all Crow players. And it's a tough shot. Let's see what he does. Well, you know he's missed because it's deathly silence.
He's got 2-4, Sandy.
He's missed some opportunities. That wasn't an easy one, but he did have a couple of easy ones in the first quarter. 6-6 plays 3-4.
Brett Lovett kicking in. Well, Melbourne will have to get a move on. Adelaide have looked the better side in this term. Oh, here's Wiedemann. Oh, listen to the roars. Oh, they love Wayne Wiedemann, and as I've said at other times, he looks like he's just come off a Viking ship, doesn't he?
I don't know what they're saying, whether it's hoot, hoot, hoot. It's a bit like Roos in Melbourne. And, Roos.
The old Val Perovic, when he was playing with Carlton, they used to roar out. Now, here's Wiedemann on that left foot. Oh, nice looking kick. A beautiful kick. It's a goal. So Wayne Wiedemann has come onto the ground and kicked the goal, and the Crows doing it well. 7-6 plays 3-4.
And unfortunately, Ross, both you and I missed the Viking period, but Pete was obviously there.
Yes. But that was a fantastic kick. I mean, he obviously backed himself. He went back with his back to the play. And it's a real team lift. He intercepted a kick out, which shouldn't happen, but to kick a goal is a reply. Good stuff.
26 points the margin. Sent this crowd fairly wild, so too is that belt by Wren. These youngsters are doing it beautifully. Tregenza takes it and kicks up towards Modra, trying desperately to get front spot. He can't. Cowell is there. Jarman sets upon him. It's pushed towards Stretch. Stretch goes towards the line, but it's got to come back. There'll be a whistle and a free kick going on for holding. And it will be taken by Brett Lovett on the last line of defence.
Against Jarman, Sandy.
So Lovett kicking to half-back. Anderson over the top to effect the spoil, and then he has another little tap. Straight down in front, however, is Lovett. This is Glenn. To centre wing, Rashudo. Under plenty of pressure from Obbs. He took an excellent mark. Mark Rashudo. To the 50-metre line. The Crows just getting on top in the last couple of minutes. And it's the youngsters. Randall Bone, one of them who's doing an excellent job. He goes directly for goal. Was that touched? Yes, yes. Crowd rose for a moment as one.
Andrew Ops has come off McDermott. He's onto a half-forward flank, being picked up by Rashudo, and Glenn Lovett is now playing on McDermott.
Phoebe to bring it back. He goes to the outer side. Steins is there, no one able to take it. Tregenza at the back. He's got a little bit of room. Can chip towards McDermott. Not paid. Oh, well. I think Peter McKenna suggesting it was knocked out of his hands after he had control. Lee, however, controls that one. No one on the mark, so he sneaks away. Goes to half forward. Wiedemann! Jiminy, did he get up? And Jimmy Steins saying, just mind getting these out of my back, please.
Well, I think he looked at the umpire for a free kick, but if your eyes are on the ball, you can still interfere with the man in front as long as your objective is to go for the mark. As the mark out there is taken by Steve Tingo, they really could do with a couple of quick goals, Melbourne. Glenn Lovett to the half-forward line. They've been falling down here. Oh, that's a good... No, it looks like a paper mark, and rightly so.
Yes,
Rodney Grinter.
Jamison now picking up Grinter. Scott Lee's picking up Andy Lovell, it is.
Now they've gone wide again. It might come off because of a terrific attempt by Andy Lovell, but really they didn't gain a lot. He's still 55 from goal. He brings it into the pocket. It's 2. Oh, Ben Hart! Sensational mark, and that's 50 metres against Jakovic. He knew it was the mark. Don't tell me he's not paying 50.
That's a look.
Well, that's got to be 50 metres.
Well, the crowd calling for it. They're not happy with that decision, but it's not paid. And Hart takes the kick. What a screamer. Gee, we saw Wiedemann get up in rarefied air just minutes ago. This is Pittman. The Crows on a high at the moment. Smart and Stretch. Lovett is there also, just sneaking away from Jarman. Gives the hand pass across towards Bonnie. McGuinness steals it beautifully. Runs the boundary line, Tony McGuinness. Watch Modra. Can't complete the mark. He recovers quickly and locks the ball up close to the line. It comes out the way of Brett Lovett, who stops and stops because the whistle had sounded, and there'll be a free kick. It's going against the Crows. A throw, was it, Roscoe?
Yes, that's what the umpire indicated.
7-7 plays 3-4. The Crows leading. Close to half-time. Wren has the football, and he'll send Melbourne or Adelaide deep into attack again. And Melbourne's defence again tested. And it's been severely tested this quarter. That wasn't one of his better kicks. Anderson unable to take the mark. Phoebe giving opposition. And a bounce just about on the 50-metre line. Neil Baum pretty laid back about his coaching, but he would be rather concerned at this stage if he has finals in mind. Phoebe combines with Hopgood out towards Dyson. He scoops it towards Lovett. Look at the desperation of Anderson. He in turn gets it out to McGuinness, who might just about run out of room. No, finds Wiedemann. Listen to the crowd. Wiedemann is picked out Jimmy Stein. Oh, who juggled it.
Steins at half-back. Transfers play. He's found a loose man out there, Andy Lovell. And Lovell at half-back, there's no one to kick it to. It's all Crow players getting back into that hole. Tregenza gets a poor bounce. Andrew Obbs, well played, ducked the head and then went forward with it. Taken away by Mark Rasciuto. He's a promising young player. In towards half forward, taken by Nigel Smart. Danger again for Melbourne. It's all Adelaide at the moment. Modra is one out there with Stephen Phoebe. Modra front position. No mark. Thump down. Steve Phoebe doing all right down there. Wiedemann. Now Jarman. A clever little hand pass. Lip tack. Wiedemann. Sprints clear. Wayne Wiedemann for his second. Races in the goal. Wiedemann. He's kicked it. And he ran a long way, but he's been paid the goal. 8-7, plays 3-4.
Well, terrific desperate stuff all around the ground by Adelaide. And William going straight for the footy. The Jarman handball was clever. And good control here. Took on Hopgood and ran a couple of extra steps, I thought, but got away with it. And a real team lifter again.
A Viking attack, Pete. Couple of inspirational goals to Wiedemann, and Adelaide in control. 8-7 to 3-4. There's a Melbourne player limping from the ground. I'll get you to keep an eye on him, Roscoe. Yep. They're in trouble, the Dogs. They're in real trouble. Another one's gone down.
Oh, that was a hard knock.
So Cowell, as you can see there, is limping from the ground. Road is back on. Melbourne in trouble at the moment. Dyson's kick down to half forward. They desperately need a score. Lovell can give them one here. And his kick towards goal is away to the right. And one behind only. Well, that's bad news. Cowell being carried from the ground, a knee or ankle. I'm sure that Max Stevens will have some news for us on that shortly. Not good news for Melbourne fans, however.
Yeah, Graham Yates is okay now. He was the player that copped one from Wren. He's up. He's been playing on Wiedemann. So not having a good trot at the moment.
Yes, that was a very hard knock as Hart kicks out. What a kick. What a monster kick. Straight to Jamieson. Jamieson, a telling hand pass to Tregenza. They look very good. Look at this. Where's Modra? Pinpoint accuracy and excellent to watch.
Yeah, to get a goal from the kick out like that, Sandy, without an opposition player touching the footy is terrific stuff. There was some good shepherding from the kick out which allowed Jamieson to get free, and the run from Tregenza was terrific, and his delivery very good.
He's directly in front. He has missed a couple from directly in front tonight. And they need this. He sort of lays back a bit on it and just almost tries to guide it through, but one behind only, so he has kicked, Ross, what is that, 2-4?
5.
2-5. So had it been, for example, 5-2, we've just about shut the gate. Not to be.
Brett Lovett to the half-back line. Anderson very strong overhead. Off onto the left foot from 60 metres. Greg Anderson, a booming kick, Anderson. Oh, touch to a goal, I think. Yes, a goal. Great play by Anderson. That's his first, and Melbourne in deep trouble. 9-8, plays 3-5.
You see, their ability to kick a long goal is just out. I mean, Wiedemann kicked the beauty. Now Anderson, from a great mark, as Pete said, he's a very strong player overhead. Plays on. Then from 55, I thought it might have just been touched by Brett Lovett, but the goal umpire obviously in the right position. 6 points.
.62 plays 23. Not a lot of time left in this quarter. Wren got a hand to it in the centre. Who's going to win it out of the middle? McGuinness works like a terrier. Bickley's also there. They surge the ball wide. Tregenza tried to sock it off the ground. Straight to Lovett. Under pressure was Hopgood. Lovett again. Off to Viney. Now Tingay. Tingay bounces his way across centre wing. And kicks to half forward. But there's the siren. Half time here at Football Park. And the honours with the home side. They lead 9-8, 62. Melbourne a 3-5-23, and in fact Melbourne in that quarter added just 3 behinds, whereas Adelaide booted 5 goals 3, and they've set themselves up to be in a commanding position at halftime. Just repeating the scores for you here at the park. The Crows are 9-8, 62. Melbourne 3-5-23.
The name of the game is Australia.
Goal at the 19-minute mark of the first quarter. Adelaide have kicked the last 7. 9-8-62. Melbourne 3-5-23.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1993 AFL Premiership season.
Well, 39 points down at there goes my pin, at half-time, Roscoe. And in front of 38,000 men in white, as far as Melbourne are concerned, going to be tough to come back.
Well, it is. That quarter by Adelaide was outstanding, and some of the moves they made really came off, particularly the likes of bringing on Wiedemann, Sandy. I mean, he
two
kicked
goals.
2 goals, which you can bring someone on and they can do some other things, but to kick those 2 goals in that quarter was just so vital. And around the ground, they don't really have a player who's struggling, and that's the good thing. Their centre line's been good. Their half-back's been very attacking and tight when they've had to be. So players like Ricciuto, Visca, Pittman at centre half-back's done very well on line, who's a very difficult player to contain. And then you've got someone like Ben Hart at full-back. Although Djakovic has led him to the ball a few times, he's fumbled a bit, and Hart's been able to pick up, recover and get away. And that's why, when you look at the match stats there, that they're just dominating little. I mean, Melbourne are still getting their share of the footy, but it's always under pressure. They haven't got players being able to break free and get rid of the ball cleanly. And you look at centre breaks there, Adelaide have done a little better there, and when they have come out of the centre, they've been purposeful and they've found their mark with their kicks or handballs. So big quarter coming out for Melbourne, Sandy. If they can get back, it's very important. And look at Adelaide there. I mean, Anderson on his wing's been very good. McGuinness, who's had the tag change, he had Cowell on him initially. He's been taken off the ground and with an injury. Now he's got Viney picking him up, McGuinness. But around the ground, they're very even, Sandy. Bone, good performance by the youngster. Even though Neitz, his opponent's done some great things, Bone's been terrific as a target at centre half forward. Wren's been great around the ground. Hit-outs at 15 at the moment against a player like Steins. Very, very good. And for Melbourne? Well, Glenn Lovett never stops trying there, but he's unobtrusively around there tonight. He's much better than I think. Phoebe's had a big job to do. Lyons struggled a bit. And Viney, who's got the tagging job, just finds it hard to get a kick. He's just got most of his stats through handballs. So the D's have the job ahead of them, trailing by 39 points at the long break, and Adelaide just getting a sniff, maybe, of finals action in the AFL for the very first time. Time now to look back on one of our regular segments, and a most popular one too. It is The Man and the Year.
McDonald's presents The Man and the Year.
A new generation of football fans would recognise Neil Baum as the placid coach of the Melbourne Football Club. They know him as a former VFL star who made his mark as coach of Glenelg in the South Australian League. An older generation remember him this way.
Baum pushed away by Wade and Southby. And Southby held high. And that one too high. Southby's a little seedy too.
For Neil Baum, the man, the year has to be 1973. The year that Richmond's top goal kicker took on the Carlton backline single-handedly on grand final day.
Gets it down, it's taken by Baum. His kick smothered. Coming up. He's gone.
It's 20 years ago now. That was it the days of black and white? It's another era altogether. I mean, grand finals are special occasions, and you know, you tend not to think back about, you know, what happens and what you would have done, but we were pretty serious about it. I think that's the way it all happened.
It was a grand final to remember. It was the day that Laurie Fowler flattened Carlton's powerhouse and captain coach John Nichols, and the day that the Tigers avenged their humiliating record-breaking loss to the Blues the previous year.
Well, I guess in a way it never does, but in other ways it was our opportunity to do something about the year before, and I suppose in that respect it did. We were able to turn it around.
This was the first of back-to-back flags for Baum, a tough man in the most talented Richmond lineup in the club's history. The man, Neil Baum, the year 1973.
The name of the game is Australia.
South Australia, it's half-time. The Crows are leading by 39 points. I've got some good news if you're a football fan and you'd like to build a bank. Well, next year you've got the opportunity with a brand new football game, and it could win you, wait for it, a cool $1 million. And all you have to do is be an excellent coach. You have to be able to pick a winner. For more on that, here's John Riddell.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Coaches Scoreline.
Next season, AFL footy could be worth $1 million a round to some lucky punters. It all depends on your ability to pick the best team from all the AFL sides.
We've got a couple of wingers we've got to pick. No. Bradley.
Quite simply, if the 18 players you pick and place are the highest stat getters for the round, you win the cash.
If you're lucky enough to pick the perfect team, pick the best full forward, the best centre-half forward and so on throughout the whole team, you'll be lucky enough to win $1 million.
Tennis ace Darren Cale's leading a Crow Eater consortium, which is behind fantasy footy. based on an idea from the United States, where sports fans try to pick the perfect baseball and gridiron teams.
You now can sit back and you can pick your own team, and you can have a lot of fun against other people, not only in the workplace but a place where you have a drink and at home, and it really is a good chance to show who is the more knowledgeable football follower. And if you really follow football and you really follow statistics, which is now these days a huge part, you just have to watch television to show how much statistics do take a part in football. And everyone knows that if your player picks up 25 kicks and has 15 handballs, he's had a good game, and it's going to show up in the stats.
Is this the ultimate footy punting game?
Well, I think so. As far as football is concerned, for Aussie rules, it's the ultimate as far as everyone being involved. You become your own coach of your AFL side, and it really does give you a different aspect on going to the football and watching the football. Not only you're watching your favourite team, but you're also watching your favourite players.
The game has the backing of Carlton United Breweries and the blessing of the AFL. Entry will be free, and you can change your teams weekly on a special phone line, giving you the chance to be the coach and the selector.
Centreman, Andrew Jarman. Bit slow, do you reckon? Bit slow.
Starting next season, fantasy football will be played right across Australia.
Well, it's going to be out next year, and I know Darren Cole's behind that, and good luck to you, Killer, but gee, I reckon Tatsnight will just about be easier than that. But watch out for that game. It's certainly going to be a great talking point, and it's going to create a lot of interest. Fantasy football out next year. Good luck to Darren and his team with that. We'll take a break more shortly from Football Park.
The name of the game is Australia.
Ground here at Football Park in preparation for the second half. They have a very handy lead of 39 points at the moment. A reminder of some of the top sport coming your way on 7. Don't forget the Track and Field Championships with Bruce McAvaney and Andy Kay continue tonight from Stuttgart. Wherever you may be viewing, just check your local guides. Now the Crows are doing their best to take part in these, the AFL Final Series for 93. And it all culminates, of course, with that one day in September. Following that, we've got the great race from the mountain, from Bathurst, the Tooheys 1000 on October 3rd. So there it is, some great sport coming your way. But wherever you may be viewing, just check your local guides down on the boundary line. I wonder what success he had at half-time. Maxie, any news?
Well, not a lot of success as Melbourne's concerned, as one would expect, Sandy, but I can tell you Darren Cowell, he's got a twisted ankle, but may or could be available to come back onto the ground. Incidentally, they'll be doing drug testing here at Football Park. 2 or 3 players from each side after the game will be required to be drug tested at random. From the Adelaide rooms, Graham Corns has told the Crows that games are won quarter by quarter. They've only won the first half. The third term is of most importance. Out of 50-50 balls that are up for grabs, Adelaide has one possession, 22-15, and he's pretty pleased with that, particularly in that second quarter. Big rap for Wayne Wiedemann. Many could suggest he was at the crossroads over the last couple of weeks. Andrew Jarman, a game coming on at the 26-minute mark. That's exactly the same time as he came on against Fitzroy. He did a lot of work and did work well despite Adelaide losing that game. And I've got to say to you, Sandy, that Wayne Wiedemann, bit of a hoot when he ever gets near the ball or comes onto the ground. It's sort of a bit of a cross between the Paul Roos, and you'll remember Val Perovic years ago. He used to have that every time he took the ball. Well, this is a combination of the Roos Perovic with a W at the start, if you know what I mean.
Max, you sound like a dog. Do it again for me. Give me one more.
The weed or the Roos?
I'll take your choice.
The weed is weed, and the Roos is Roos, and the Perovic is whoo.
Get back to your kennel. Thank you very much. Maxie Stevens down there on the boundary line. And well, some interesting stats from Graham Corns at half-time, but I sincerely hope that Neil Baum, Ross, can get his charges up in this third quarter and make a real game of it.
Yeah, so it's often been the important one, Sandy. Obviously, every quarter is important, but after a deficit like that at half-time, you've got to show something in this third quarter. And that stat that Max read out is one that's been taken for some time by coaches, and it is such an important one that they say when the ball is in dispute, who's going to be the better at getting it. And that stat is a very good one, worked in favour of Adelaide. But if Melbourne can turn it around in this quarter, I'm not sure if we're going to get any rain. It's looking a little bit ominous at the moment. However, it just could be a quarter they can lift, and it could make all the difference to their finals aspirations.
Tony Modra has just the 2 goals to date. He's been off target, though. Wayne Wiedemann has also booted 2, both in the second quarter when he came on in a blaze of glory. Well, Melbourne didn't score a goal in that second quarter. Three behinds.
Cowell's actually back on the ground, so
that's good news.
Yes, because he's the lively type that they need to match the leg speed of Adelaide.
Melbourne have to do a lot better up forward. Now, that man on screen, Jakovic, really has to fire for them because Ben Hart's a very good player at fullback.
So just about set to go with Wren, who's done an excellent job. He and Steins have had a great duel on the ball. Wren tends to really charge at these opening bounces. Let's see what happens in the middle. Well, he sprints and then he's got a prop for a moment. In fact, no one gets a decisive tap away. Viney had it and then lost it. So too did Tingay. Wren down at the bottom. Viney again. Look at him pounce on it with Brown. I think Brown may be a little too enthusiastic and a fraction high. Love it. Melbourne want the first goal very, very badly. Hart leads Jakovic to the ball. Obst is also there with Rashudo. And Rashudo sees it over the line. What's wrong, Pete?
Oh, well, you've got the ball almost at centre half forward. Then they shoot it way out to the half forward flank out towards the boundary line. Should have been going to the goal square.
Yes, it's a throw in front of the scoreboard. Pittman was there doing the ruck work. Viney's hurried kick goes straight to Hart. Must have been touched off the boot. He was called to play on. Slung as he gets his kick. That could well be a goal.
Obst, I think.
Well, that's a fantastic goal, and that's what they needed. Obst getting the first goal in the third quarter. That's his second, and it might just lift Melbourne. They're 4-5, but they trail 9-8.
Yes, and he's such an important player, having started the game matching up with Chris McDermott, now on the forward line, and a terrific snap. He's a sort of team-lifting type player, and he's done that so far. Good stuff.
Well, maybe they can mount a challenge. That's exactly what they needed to start this term. The Adelaide crowd getting behind their side. Jimmy Steins. So racing after Glenn Lovett. Oh, smothered off the boot. That was good play by Greg Anderson. He actually dived on the boot, Ross.
Yes, he did. Looks as if they've taken the tag off McGuinness too. He's able to run free a bit.
So again a bounce. Umpires Peter Carey and Darren Goldspink. Very experienced umpires and doing a fine job in this game. Wren taps it down. Gary Lyon cleverly. Glenn Lovett brought down too high. The umpire says to Matthew Liptak. Well, another quick one would be invaluable as we see Glenn Lovett looking for Jimmy Steins. Oh, but coming across the front. Greg Anderson's having a great game and very strong overhead, as we said earlier. Former bomber from Port Adelaide star. In towards half forward, looking for Nigel Smart. Big thump away was by Stretch. Here's Tingay. A wild hand pass. Nigel Smart goes on with it. Very quick player. Tregenza's had a good game. Hurry kick in towards Brown. This is David Brown going backwards to Simon Tregenza. The chip pass into Jarman. And not paid. Almost held it long enough. David Brown around the corner. A clever kick to Tony McGuinness. Danger here. Modra on the lead. Stephen Phoebe will come over the back. Jarman went past the ball. Hopgood further afield to Matthew Phoebe. In towards half back, and a nice mark taken there by Tingay.
Melbourne getting the opening goal of the second half. Road, penetrating kick down towards the half-forward line. Andy Lovell and Lee. Who was holding who? The umpire said you both were as they play on. And it belted down to the line. Let's go down to the boundary line. Max?
Mark Visca for the Adelaide Crows is on the bench at the moment. He has a slight, and I emphasise slight, hamstring strain and is available to come back on if needed.
Okay, thanks, Max. Pittman doing the ruck work. Lee's hand pass goes astray. Went straight towards Viney, who was ridden into the ground. Lyon also. Lee again. Sneaks away from Tingay and has a bounce. There's long and low towards Jarman. Seems to pull the ball down in front of him. The lead goes for number 3. But he's away to the left. One behind.
Well, the Weed. There was another famous The Weed. Played for Collingwood in the late 50s and early 60s. Murray Wiedemann was known as The Weed. What a great player he was for the Magpies. And now residing in South Australia. Sandy?
Yes, had a long association with West Adelaide. So did his son. Weeds everywhere. Kick back into play. Stretch sets up the hand pass for Lovett. Now Road towards half forward. Lovell a chance to go. He's taken the mark. And he centres it because Peter Road has covered an enormous amount of territory. He's come down from half back and he stabs it in towards Obst, who's kicked 2.
That's good play, isn't it, Ross? To lead straight up the middle, not out to the flank.
Well, that's what you've been trying to say, Peterson. Just come more directly toward the player.
Obst from 40 metres, almost directly in front. Well, if they get a couple more, they're right back in this, the Bees. It's away to the left. Badly. Sneaking in for a behind. 4-6 plays 9-9 on the 7 Sports scoreboard.
And with Visca off the ground, Bickley is now picking up Andy Lovell.
Ben Hart chips it out to Scott Lee. Crashed across the head. Umpire plays the advantage here. Mark Rasciuto. Simon Tregenza. Further afield, David Brown to the half-forward line. Nigel Smart stretch at the back. The race is on. Kicked away by Bone to the half-forward line for Adelaide, and it rolls over the line before Brett Lovett can get to it.
Leach has come to centre half forward, Pete. That's why Peter Road is picking up Bone.
Well, that's a positive move by Neil Baum. They have to win this game, and Neitz is an excellent player. Certainly doing well at centre half back. But they were falling down on the half-forward line. As we see racing after it, Tony McGuinness. Glenn Lovett. Todd Viney. Back to Glenn Lovett. Centre wing, 2-on-1. Two big men, too, against Gary Lyon. And the umpire's given the free kick. Now the advantage. David Brown was looking out for Modra. Modra and Steve Phoebe. Oh, a lot of pace shown by Modra too. Well played by the full forward to bring it back in front of goal. Terrific play, Modra. But waiting underneath, it's Jimmy Steins. It's that little chip kick. Well, we see him do that time and time again. Todd Viney. Oh, wobbly looking kick. No mark to Hopgood. Holding the man decision. Will be paid to Simon Tregenza at half forward for Adelaide. He chips it across. Wren can race in 50 metres from goal. Sean Wren sets it up for the full forward. Modra, nearly got it on the second bite, but Stephen Phoebe taps it through for a behind.
Good kick by Wren too, because he knew he only had Steins in front of him, so he went high as well as long to give Modra a chance to come back from the pocket and have a jump at it.
9-10 plays 4-6. 34 points the margin. Phoebe comes back into play. Towards Peter Road. Nigel Smart was there. Look at that recovery of Smart. He should goal here. And that's another opportunity going begging.
Deserved one.
Yes.
He's got some talent, hasn't he?
He's deceptively quick too, Pete. He looks like a bit of a loper, but his ability over the first few yards, very slick.
9-11. Phoebe again. To a similar spot. Wren and Steins. Wren got a hand to it. Steins called a play on. He gets the hand pass out. McDermott locks it up. And we'll have a bounce. Crows could find themselves later tonight in the top 4. Quite possibly. Just depending how it all unravels. What it basically means is we've got a wonderful struggle for a finals berth this year, and that's great to see. Lyon on centre wing. Melbourne's run, on the other hand, could well end should they be defeated. Cowell back on the ground, couldn't take it on the half volley. Tregenza does it nicely to Lee off to McDermott. The Crows are away. He's in the middle. Kicks up towards half forward into a bit of space. Tapped on for Modra. This should result in a goal. He just gives it to Jarman going past, and Giles is away to the left as well. Well,
hope they don't try and finesse too much. It was clever play. The end result not what they needed.
So Stephen Stretch has found Matthew Phoebe out here making the lead. Nearly dropped it. The two Phoebe boys have had terrific seasons, Matthew and Stephen. Todd Viney. Ordinary kick in towards him, cleared his head. Danger here because Tony McGuinness on the right foot towards halfway. Wiedemann. Oh, they love him here at Football Park. Big strong mark.
And if he had it turned around quickly, Yates, his opponent, had fallen to ground, but he ran back again with his back to play. Obviously backed himself for a shot at goal, but he could have run in within about 15 metres out.
Well, originally from Fish Creek, Wayne Wiedemann kicks and blasted out to the left. He's kicked 2 goals. Scoring difficult, pretty breezy night.
They've kicked 4 behinds this term, Pete.
Yes, they're letting Melbourne off the hook, but Melbourne's still a long way to go. As we see Steve Phoebe bringing it to the half-back line. Nigel Smart is there. That looked like Neats down there at half-back then. Yates. Cap further afield. Jamison intercepting was Todd Viney. On to Stephen Stretch. Stretch to the half-forward line. It clears the pack. Here's Jakovic. Oh, he looked up. He went without it. He was off before he actually had the ball. Ben Hart. Well played. Mark Bickley. Now it's Brown. David Brown. Dummies. Now brings it in on the left foot towards half-forward. He's kicked. Oh, Steins has dropped the sitter. Oh, danger here because Bones got it. On to Smart. Nigel Smart brings it in towards Jarman. It clears his head. Modra is there to lend a hand. Tony Modra. Well played, Stephen Phoebe, as he takes the ball away. He's doing pretty well at fullback. In towards Hopgood, and he finds him at the half-back line.
Goes over the top. Lovett. Glenn Lovett. Up to right half-forward, and Andy Lovell takes the mark. Jakovic leads into the pocket. He ignores him and heads towards Obst at half-forward. Fisted away from him. Line a chance. Picks it up now. Goes over the top towards Neats. Rides one bump. Rides another and bends back a beauty for a much-needed goal.
The name of the game is a strategy.
Just a couple more quick goals and they'd be right in this. Jimmy Steins has got to clear it out of the centre. Adelaide have been far the better side tonight, but it can change very, very quickly this game. Steins wins that hit out. Here's big Pittman. Well, he's lost it to Gary Lyon. Well played by Lyon. Ooh. That was Bickley coming through. Lyon dodging and weaving. That's good play. On to Cow. Cow chips it to the half-wide line. David Neats underneath it. The ball hits the deck. Here's young Hopgood. Oh, he tried to give it to Jakovic. Jakovic can't pick it up. Going on hands and knees. Socked away by Brown. Out towards centre wing. The race is on. Brown races and gets it again. Brown brings it back to the half-forward line. Nigel Smart is there. Pressure on him as we see Brett Lovett getting it to Peter Rode. Rode back towards Kingay. Here's Todd Viney. Now Stretch. Oh, Melbourne have gone up into another gear here. Neats was underneath it. Bickley. Now Scott Lee. Lee onto his right foot, but he has a bounce instead. Cow's got him. Well played, Darren Cow with pace. Here's Pittman. A quick kick to the half-forward line. A one-on-one contest. Rode did it well. Racing through. That looked like McDermott. It was McDermott. Liptak. On the Brown. Where's Modra? There he is. Can't mark. Phoebe doing well at fullback. Well played, Stephen Phoebe, as he brings it to the half-back line. Oh, straight to McGuinness. McGuinness centres it across the face. And Matthew Phoebe couldn't mark. Jarman was loping around there ready to swoop on it, but it cleared the pack and over the line.
Bit of a feeling of anxiety sweeping in here at Football Park as Lovett takes it away for Melbourne. Heads to the outer side. Heads towards Lyon and to Pittman. The latter with an effective fist down in front. Lyon leads in the race. Now he's got a double back. Anderson gives good support to Pittman. Picking up a ton of possessions, Greg Anderson. At the loping left foot. Oh, look at this.
Yes, with Sanderson walking up, Sandy. It looks as if it's Jarman coming off. Yes, it is.
Modra now, because of this, going for his third.
Good shepherding by Wiedemann too.
metres out, but on a fairly tight angle as Jarman leaves the arena. Brendan Sanderson is back on. Modra shoots and Modra goals. Three goals to Tony Modra. Adelaide needed that. It's a steadier, Oscar.
Yes, that's exactly right, Sandy. And Modra with 1-3 in the first quarter, 2-2 in the second. So he might get down to 3-1 or 1-3 in this quarter, but he's done well. But Anderson's been very strong on his wing. He's been a telling player all night. And Modra, good conversion from there. Not an easy shot from that angle.
Tony Modra has kicked 3 goals and a steadier for Adelaide, although Melbourne really not making great inroads into that leeway. They had plenty of the ball, but they're just not kicking enough goals down there on the forward line. There's Todd Viney getting it to the half-forward line. Neats very cleverly looking for Cowell. He went without it. Strong tackle by Neats. Gee, I like that kid. The way he just doesn't give up at any stage. Andrew Jarman looks on. He's having few spells here and there on the interchange. Pittman gets it to Lee. And that hurry kick straight to Graham Yates. Yates lays off the hand pass. This is Stretch. Oh, he should have kicked it. He tried to give a hand pass. Taken away by Nigel Smart. Beautiful pass to Modra. That is classic play, but really the mistake by Stephen Stretch should have been kicking it 70 metres down their end.
Yes, they make hard work of it, Melbourne. What you said before, Pete, they are getting plenty of the footy, but they're just making it difficult for their teammates with the wrong option. And Smart just read that beautifully. And his pick-up and recovery was great. The kick, you wouldn't want it better.
Modra for goal number 4 from directly in front. Kicks, it's out to the right. And very difficult up that end to score goals. And he's missed another one. That's 6 behinds, I think.
Correct.
Roscoe. 4 goals, 3 goals, 6.
Give him 4 goals anyway, Pete.
Correct.
Great mathematician, Roscoe.
See you next to a school teacher.
Wren comes over the top with a powerful fist. Melbourne now needing a couple badly as Dyson gets the hand pass away to Glenlove. Stretch runs through the middle and kicks beautifully up towards half forward. Hart got a hand to it for the Crows. Couldn't take the mark, and a bounce will take place 35 metres out from the Melbourne scoring zone. They booted only 5-6 in the game to date. If you've just joined us, Adelaide leads 10-14, 74. The D's 5-6, 36. Lovett gets in out towards his skipper line. Andy Lovell. Oh, that was a lightning hand pass. Wonder where he learnt that. Hopgood. High kick. Glenn Lovett. He might have a shot here. And he's drifted it across the face and in fact has gone out of bounds on the full. Hart will bring it back into play and he wastes no time. Quickly on. Gets the hand pass away to Rashudo. Kicks up towards Wren. Now he's got a hectare, this man. And he uses it. Almost. To half forward. Wiedemann came through without the football initially. Now he goes in once again. Tries to farm it out. Might get a free kick for a push. Quickly on he goes. Wants Modra. At the back, there's no one there. Modra attempts to soccer off the ground. Brett Lovett is there, defending on the last line. This is what they've got to do now. They've got to get out of trouble. The Yates to the half-back line. The 2-12s, Viney and Tregenza. The Melbourne man is superior on this occasion. Hopgood, close to the boundary line on centre wing, and his kick is even closer. Looking for Andy Lovell, he goes out on the full, and it'll be Mark Bickley to bring it back into play. To the tractor, David Brown. Gets his kick up towards half forward, fisted away from Road. Was he held?
He was, Sandy.
And he'll take a free kick at half-back, Pete.
Peter Road. He's played a number of games on the forward line this year. Former Carlton player to half forward. They've gone wide again, Melbourne. Here's Tregenza. He went without it. Hopgood needs some support. He's got it from Glenn Lovett. Well played. Oh, gets himself into trouble. Smothered off the boot by Tony McGuinness. They won't kick the ball, Melbourne. Now a chance. Gary Lyon comes through the pack, but a free kick in the meantime will go the way. I think Ben Hart will take this. No, he won't.
McDermott, I should say.
Chris McDermott at half-back. McDermott, a wobbly kick to the centre of the ground, but Randall Bone is there playing in front. Big Randall, centre wing, in towards half forward. Wren the fly. Geez, got some class on the Smart. Is that holding the ball? No, says the umpire. Scott Lee going down to try and have a shot at goal. He's still going on with it, Scott Lee. Matthew Phoebe, well played. Hooks it out to Obbs. Obbs to Anderson. Anderson a quick kick into the pocket. Modra and Steve Phoebe, but it beats both of them over the line for a throw-in.
Yeah, Scott Lee a little bit keen to have a shot at goal there. Should have handballed to Liptak. The first option, instinctive one, was to do that. We didn't.
And so we have a throw-in in the right forward pocket. 74 plays 36. Wiedemann through strong. Ball spills free. Lovett at the bottom of the pack. Wiedemann asked the question. Trying to get through was Dyson. Cry of ball.
Graham Yates has copped a bit. He's copped a couple of hips and shoulders tonight that he'll feel tomorrow morning.
Looked up and saw Wiedemann. So I think I'll just walk past, actually. So a bounce in the right forward pocket for the Crows. Tingay has front spot. Brown there with him. Close to the boundary line. Phoebe is taken over. The ball is over as well, so it's thrown on that outer side.
And that's the sort of pressure that McDermott applied then that they've been applying all night in the 50-50 stuff. as well as when they've chased like that.
Well, Chris McDermott may well see his dream come true as Brown goes forward once again towards Modra. Over the top now. Who's going to be first to recover? It spins away like a Shane Warne ball for one behind.
A good effort by Stephen Phoebe, because that ball has been pelted down there time and time again. Steins punched away by Tregenza. Here's a chance for Brett. Oh, gee, they love the handball, don't they? There's Road. Grab when he didn't have it. And I think the umpire has pinged him. Yes, it was holding the man on the stretch. Chips it out. He's looking for Glenn Lovett. Oh, he's a quick kick. He's got a loose man on centre wing, but too late. Glenn Lovett in towards half forward. He's looking for David Neitz. He's underneath it. A good fist away. Tony McGuinness on to McDermott. Good football by Adelaide. Up towards half forward. Brett Lovett kicks it in midair. Towards centre wing. 2-on-1 here, and Anderson. He's having a picnic out on that wing. Greg Anderson chips it in. Wiedemann. And there's that familiar cry. And only Max Stevens can demonstrate it for us. Now, the chip pass is on here. Wren gets away on his own, and he tells the umpire where the mark is.
The big man's umpiring.
He's umpiring the game as well as playing it so well as a ruckman.
We did that very well. He knew Jim Steins had gone back looking for the long kick almost towards the square, so he came forward, presented himself to Wiedemann. Good stuff.
So I'd probably say still a doubt about the distance for Sean Wren. He's got a kick from right on 50. Let's see if it holds up in the breeze. Oh, not a bad looking kick. Just starts to hold up. Did it clear the pack for a goal? Let's have a look at 1 point only. Crowd were roaring. He missed to the right.
Like a sales pitch, really. They were trying to sell the umpire, but he wasn't conned. One behind.
26 scoring shots to 11. They've really dominated.
10-16. A lot of missed opportunities. Tingay. Well, he took a courageous mark earlier in the game, but just failed to hold that one. Road, but look at the pro determination. McDermott, Tregenza over the top of his hand pass went to Lovett. Tingay again at the bottom of the pack, holds it in. And the umpire comes in and well, I reckon he changed his mind, the umpire. He's given it the way of the D's. Hopgood kicks towards Lovett and Brown. Now the latter took it at the second attempt over the line. So a throw in to take place. As Matthew Robran, well, he'd dearly love to be out there, but gone for the year. It was a cruel blow for him, because he's just starting to assert his authority in this lineup. Look out, David Brown. He gets it back to McGuinness, who pumps it long and direct. Modra got a hand to it. Lovett now forced to defend stoutly. And he does, but the kicks drop very short. It's taken by Wiedemann. The wild man breaks free, gives the hand pass away. This could be a nail in the Melbourne coffin. No, Sanderson has missed. And one behind only. Well, opportunities like that, Roscoe, are going begging.
Yes, a bit like that last week too, Sandy. They kicked a number of points, and only losing by 5 at the end of the game was disappointing for them, obviously. And they're controlling the game at the moment. They're not that... The game isn't as close as it was last week, but by the same token, their percentage can be very important, particularly if they win this game. They win it well, they could finish up in third posse.
Well, here's the kick in. Steins, courage shown by Bone.
Now there was a clash of heads.
That's a head clash, and they're both down. Oh, that's a nasty sight. Blood pouring out. Well, it was Jimmy Steins,
yes,
I think who is down, and blood pouring out of his head. So that's a nasty head clash, that.
They're going to have to stop this, surely.
Oh, yes.
The umpire.
I must stop it. Now, this is...
Stretchers are being called for.
Come on.
And now the umpire's been told. There we see it in replay.
Steins is up.
Oh.
But he's up, on my word he is, but he's covered in blood.
You hate to see that.
And this young man has done such a good job, Randall Bone.
Oh, yes. Nasty head clash.
And Jim Steins just leaving the ground now, going straight down to receive medical attention. That's bad news, and well, it's even...
He's a tough boy.
Worse news, this boy is not moving.
No.
Randall Bone. He could be out to it.
Copped it right in the temple, I think, Sandy.
Oh, that's reminiscent of the Richard Osborne one. And it's the worst thing in football, that.
Yeah, just one of
head
those
clash.
freak accidents. Well, It looks as though he is conscious, and that is excellent news. In fact, he's going to seat himself on the stretcher, so that is one piece of positive news anyway. And doesn't appear to be bleeding, not that I could see, so he may have just suffered what could be called an almighty headache come the morning. But he's done a lot, this former South Adelaide player. Certainly done his job, and that's not the sort of thing we like to see. So big Jim Steins was sidelined, and so too Randall Bone. This is going to add some considerable time to the quarter.
Yes, and they have to wait until the player is right off the ground, up the race.
And the situation is that Adelaide have control of the ball through Mark Bickley. He's waiting to take the kick now. He sees Bone being stretchered down into the rooms. The whistle has sounded. Play can now resume. Bickley gets his kick up towards half forward, towards Smart, but he's outmarked on this occasion. I'm sure, incidentally, that Max will bring us up to date with the condition of both boys in the next 5 or 6 minutes. I'm sure people will be keen to find out. Now, did it go out on the full? No. It's a somewhat animated boundary umpire. It was swept along the floor. Coming from the boot of Paul Hopgood.
Well, this is all Adelaide at the moment. They've been far too good so far in this game. Strong tackling on Tingay. Brett Lovett trying to take it. Oh, that was a class play by Lovett. He's looking for the hand pass on to Todd Vining. Oh, inside he goes. Len Lovett chips it in. Oh, it'll clear the head of Andy Lovell. Poor kick it was. Ben Hart races away, and the little chip pass has found
he's got
Rodney Jamison.
Here's Bickley alone.
Well, here he is receiving from Ben Hart. The loose men everywhere for Adelaide here, and he chips it out wide, and Greg Anderson has had a magnificent game. Anderson to centre wing. Simon Tregenza to the half-forward line. Nigel Smart, clever play as he taps it further afield. Peter Road battling hard against Jarman, and Jarman can't retrieve that ball before it rolls across the line. Half-forward flank area for Adelaide.
Tony Modra, 3 goals to him tonight. Wayne Wiedemann has 2. They're the main contributors for Adelaide. Andrew Obst has 2 for the D's. Sock it off the ground, up towards Modra. Left foot snap. Yes. Now he's got 4.
Yeah, Liptak, Sandy, that was clever play to kick it off the ground, as you said. Just the first thing again, get the ball forward as best you can, knock it on by fist, and then kick it off the ground. The ball's getting a little greasy. There's a bit of dew around, and Modra just too strong this time for Phoebe. Phoebe's done a pretty good job, actually. That time, Modra too good.
So the Crows extend their lead. 83 plays 36, and out of the middle it's Tregenza who gives it to McGuinness. A high kick up towards the half-forward line. 3 Melbourne players are there, however. But the D's need some scoring done pretty badly. Dyson takes the hand pass. He started on the bench, kicks up towards the half-forward line. Hart chanced his arm there and couldn't quite take it on the half volley. Here's his opponent, Jakovic. A left foot snap as he goes to ground. This is going to be close. Away to the left. 1 behind.
The Melbourne players are appealing for a handball then.
4 behinds to Jakovic in his comeback.
It's interesting too with Randall Bone going off, Sandy. If he is unable to come back on, which he looked pretty groggy, they've also got Visca on the sideline with a bit of a hammy, as Max said. They might be unable if someone else goes down to replace him.
Quite right.
Ben Hart being well on top of Jakovic in this match. Yeah, Scott Lee gets it to Brown. Brown round the corner. Oh, here he is again, Greg Anderson. 15 kicks he's had, 8 marks. Now to the half-forward line. Smart slips over, but Liptak is there to swoop on the ball on the left foot. Centres. That is a very good kick by Liptak. Still a chance for the Crows. Kevin Dyson, though, read it beautifully. He's got a loose man out here at half-back. Glenn Lovett. He finds him. Hand pass over the top. This is Hopgood. Again around the boundary line. Gary Lyon's been fairly quiet. Putting in a fair job.
He's done well for a big bloke in a little place in the ruck.
Gary Lyon. Oh, look at Wren. Gets himself. He reads that play magnificently. Wren on to Bickley. Mark Bickley to the speedster. Tregenza. Hand pass out. What? Have a look at this for speed too from Ben Hart. Chips it in the Modra. Oh, can't quite mark that one. A difficult one. Steve Phoebe gets it to Graham Yates. Yates around the boundary line. And here is Matthew Phoebe.
Goes with a long hand pass, finds Tingay, puts him under a bit of pressure. He tries to get another one to Hopgood. Hopgood goes to ground, but he's good enough to pick it up once again. Stretch, a high kick up towards half forward. Wren coming in over the top with a big fist, helps out Jamison. Jamison has Lee in the other pocket, and he uses that player. The defence knitting together quite nicely at the moment. McGuinness slips at the crucial stage, but he's got time to recover nicely. Kick the centre wing. There's the siren. It's three-quarter time. Another good quarter by Adelaide after Melbourne showed early promise with a couple of quick goals. But Adelaide have steadied. And at three-quarter time, the Crows lead 11-17, 83. Melbourne, a 5-7, 37.
The name of the game is Australia.
Mean a lot. Well, on Sunday,
it does to those clubs.
But I mean to the finals. I know that, of course, it does to them, but not to the finals race. On Sunday, Sydney plays North Melbourne and Richmond plays Melbourne. The Sainters have the bye. And wherever you're viewing, check your local guides for details. Now, Max Stevens is down on the boundary line. Max, Jimmy Steins went straight down into the rooms, and Randall Bone also has received attention. Any news on those boys?
Well, firstly, Jim Steins, he's got a severe cut right across the top of his eye. I've been told it's going to require something like 10 to 15 stitches. And I think it'd be fair to say that if he were a boxer, they would have stopped the fight. He is okay, and that's the good news. But as I said, he's going to require about 10 to 15 stitches right across the top there, Sandy. Randall Bone, good news there. He is okay, but definitely tomorrow he'll be waking up with a headache. Now, Neil Barnes told his players to go straight down the ground, stop using the wings, the flanks and pocket, the quickest way home. He said Adelaide's doing the hard work, and that's why they're in front. He wants them to run harder, work harder, and have a fair dinkum dip. He said it's up to you the next 30 minutes. If you don't want to do it, well, you're not going to have a chance whatsoever of getting back into this game. Graham Corns, well, he said when you've got the opportunity, settle down when kicking for goal. He feels they should be further in front. That's pretty obvious. Also, cut the pointless handball out. It's achieving nothing. And also on the injury front, Mark Visca still on the bench. He has a slight hamstring strain, and good to see. I've just had a look around. Randall Bone on the bench now, up and sitting there and looking a little bit better than when he left the ground.
Maxie, you're sounding a little short of breath. You okay?
I am. I had to run back from Neil Barnes' comments, and it's a fair way when you've got little legs like mine, Sandy.
Comedian. Max Stevens down on the boundary line. That's good news anyway that Max has given us about Randall Bone and Jimmy Steins.
And there's the dominance there of Adelaide. Now, Graham Corn said let's cut out the unnecessary handball. They normally are very high in the handball area. Adelaide not quite as high as Melbourne. Melbourne in a bit of strife, but going to be a big quarter for Melbourne to get back into this game.
Well, Adelaide has increased their lead during that third quarter after Melbourne got a couple of early goals. It was a 39-point break at half-time. It's now 46. Do you give them any hope, Roscoe, of getting back?
Well, they've got to lift themselves so much all around the ground, Sandy. I just can't see them. There's not one player that really has shone out as someone who can lift and take control of this game or give them some drive, particularly through the centre. They've really missed that tonight.
Wren about to do battle once again. Of course, not up against big Jim Steins anymore. Steins requiring at least 6 or 7 stitches. Liptak gives it across to McGuinness, who pumps a high kick to start proceedings down to half forward. Road almost took it in front of Jarman. He's had the better of him since he's been on the ground. Towards Hopgood he goes with Tregenza, but it's over the line on the other side, and another throw in. And well, Bone might have bitten his tongue when the clash of heads took place, but he doesn't appear too bad. That's very good news from the Crows' point of view anyway, as Dyson gets a hurried kick on that outer wing, only as far as Lyon. Lyon back to Glenn Lovett. Melbourne go towards a half forward. Winter's been rarely sighted tonight. Jamison has it. Oh, that could be costly. The Grinter's kick, however, is high. Djakovic underneath it, couldn't take the mark. Obster's also there. Djakovic could have almost asked for a free kick.
Yes, I thought so too, Sam. He carried forward,
but not to be. So the ball up in the right forward pocket.
And that's that finessing handball that Graham Corns was talking about. The one coming back to Bickley.
Forward pocket for Melbourne. Pittman. Here's Djakovic, surrounded by Crows. Been pretty impressive tonight, but they're always impressive here at Football Park. They've just got to learn to win in Melbourne. Got a big one next week out at Waverley against the Hawks. Huge game for Hawthorn. Forward pocket, Gary Lyon telling the umpire to get on and bounce it. He's trying to get in there in front of Wren. He does so, and Obbs comes over the top, but Scotty Lee is there to take it away to the centre wing. Up they go. Oh, that's a good mark. Chris McDermott. Now the Crows go straight down the centre. Mogra. 2 bites of the cherry and he's marked.
And that's what Neil Barnes said he wanted his Melbourne players to do, Pete, straight down the centre. That's exactly how you do it. Clear out onto the flank, redirect through the centre, and then go as quickly as you can with a low trajectory pass to your leading forward. Thank you.
And he's kicked 4 goals, 6. Tony Modra. He's 40 metres out, directly in front. He lays back on that. That was an ordinary looking kick. And he really has kicked poorly tonight.
Well, that's because he has, Pete, exactly what you said. He's leaned back a bit, which you don't do. As you know, you lean forward and you kick through the ball with a good momentum in your run-up, and he's done the opposite to that tonight on a few occasions.
Well, invaluable advice from the Brownlow medalist. I think the cheque will be in the mail during the week from Tony Modra. Roscoe?
Love it. It's tried hard all night. 20 kicks. Goes up towards Lyon on centre wing, who charges at the ball. Hopgood is there also. Tregenza just gets a little toe poke forward away from him towards Jamison. Back again. This looks dangerous. Smart's inside 50. Chip in towards half forward. But beaten for the ball on this occasion was Matthew Liptak. And it's gone to Graham Yates. Yates out to the half back line. David Neitz kicked the goal in the third quarter. We'll have to do the big man work now because Steins is no longer with us on the ground at the moment. There's Glenn Lovett. Almost shepherded that ball over the line. How do you do, sir? Hope you're enjoying it. I'm sure they are if they're Crows supporters anyway, Pete. Very
Certainly. Oh, they've been impressive, Adelaide, tonight.
McDermott. High kick. Jarman. Well, tried to position the body and he almost got there. In there once again goes Giles. Oh, well done. Out to David Brown and he kicks a goal. They're working on percentage now for the Crows. Brown gets his first for the night. Roscoe?
And again, that indecisive kick from Neitz just makes it difficult for his teammate to get the footy. The ball changed over. Jarman worked very hard in that 50-50 ball again, which they were talking about at half-time, Max mentioned. You win possession, you give the ball off, Brown kicks a goal, and you're in further trouble.
Well, just what the doctor ordered for Adelaide, and certainly what Melbourne did not want.
Got it, mate.
So, Neitz against Red Eyes, that clever player, Wren. He taps it back towards half-forward. That was Sanderson. Now it's Brown. Here's Wren. Look at that. Dodging and weaving back to Brown in towards half forward, and the mark has been taken by Liptak. Matthew Liptak will look for Modra. Modra on the lead. It's out in front of him. What can he do? The full foot. Oh, good hand pass. On to Sanderson. He's brought to the ground. Well played by Tingay. Desperate play by Tingay. Brett Lovett. Well, he turned around Matthew Phoebe, and the umpire waved him on, playing the advantage. Glenn Lovett to the half-forward line. They've fallen down here tonight. Holding decision, which play? Advantage play. It was going Melbourne's way to Obbs. Here's Andy Lovell centering the ball. He's looking for Grinter. Grinter's been very quiet. Lee gets in a hand pass. Here's Djakovic. Caught. Gets in a hand pass. A good one too. Andrew Obbs from directly in front. Chips it in. No mark to Melbourne. Socket off the ground. That could be a goal. No. One behind only to the Demons. It's a real struggle for them.
Pete, that kick from Andy Love was another example. He kicked it behind the lead of Grinter rather than giving Grinter some chance to get the footy. He put it behind, which gave the Adelaide Crow player a chance.
Crowd, incidentally, tonight as Rashudo goes from the back pocket towards centre wing to McDermott of 46,310.
Oh, packed it out again.
Yet another sellout. But, wonderful that it's so strong in South Australia. McDermott to half forward. Smart, eyes only for the ball, almost took it. Tingo towards the boundary line. Smart shows dash. He's quick, the big man. He's very versatile. Gets the hand pass away towards Sanderson. He's under pressure, but he's able to get his kick in towards full forward. Over the back it goes. Road gets a hand to him and eventually pushes it over the line from behind. 12-19, look at that. 31 scoring shots to 13. Really does tell the story of the night. Phoebe towards Neitz, but at the back is Tregenza. Oh, Modra! Would you back it this time, Pete? 30 metres out, slide angle.
Yeah, I would, Pete.
This time.
4-6 to his credit at the moment.
We could race Ross Glendinning down there to give him a quick kicking lesson to make a certainty of it, though, Sandy.
Let's see what he does. 30 metres out. Oh, Pete, you can pick them.
Well, it's amazing when a player
4-7
gets into that groove, Ross, and they just keep missing them, don't they?
Yes, it's that little bit of confidence. And you just lack something. It's like a golfer with his putting. Doesn't take much to get off cue. Now, Melbourne have got to get something from this kickoff. They've been very ordinary at getting the advantage from their kickoff. They've had plenty of chances, 20 kickoffs. And the percentages, I would think, in Adelaide's favour in returning the ball towards goal.
So Road, undecided. Actually comes Members' side. Wiedemann and at the bottom of the pack. Viney first to the ball, close to the boundary line, and gets a high kick. Wren. Oh! Play on call. He falls on his rump and stretches away. Up towards half forward. Rashudo couldn't complete the mark. Grinter applies a solid tackle. Carl is caught. Could just about lose that. A line it was at the bottom. Comes up with a wry smile.
It makes me laugh how the crowd expects every decision to go their way, don't they? It's incredible.
Just forward of centre wing. Wren gets a palm towards Bickley. Lyon hurriedly gets boot to ball to Obst. A little chip up towards the forward line. Gee, they're going slowly, but they are getting there eventually. Andy Lovell goes even wider. It may come unstuck. Bickley collides. The ball spills free. Dyson still has possession, however. He chips again towards the forward region, and Carl takes the mark.
They've gone from being about 25 metres out with Andy Lovell to now being
35
in about 8 possessions.
Jimmy Stein too is coming around the boundary line as we watch the replay.
And that's good news too. The Brownlow medalists getting a round of applause from this pro-South Australian crowd, but very sporting gesture as that kick goes in towards full forward, socket back towards McGuinness, and he'll pump it wide to the outer side, giving Tregenza a chance to run. And he runs and sees it over the line with Paul Hopgood on the outer side.
And I'd suggest it'll be Alan Jakovic that will come off the ground. The Melbourne runners up there talking to him at the moment. We'll have to wait for the opportune time, though, to move him.
Yes, they can put Lyon down to full forward and Neitz to centre half forward, I suppose, and Stein's into the ruck.
From the throw-in, McGuinness steals it. Tumbles a punt towards centre wing. Brett Lovett was there. He sees it go over the line, however.
There's Jakovic coming off.
Well, disappointing. They're pretty knowledgeable with this crowd, aren't they? He kicked 7 in the reserves last week, and it hasn't been his night tonight. But I'm quite sure that Melbourne fans in particular will be delighted to see Big Jim, despite the stitches in his head, back out on the ground. Line, couldn't take it. Chance for Tregenza again for the Crows. Up towards Jarman on half forward. Took it beautifully on the half volley. Then gave it like lightning to Wiedemann. Oh, goes the Weed!
The name of the game is Australia.
Sure.
They're developing, so I mean, it's not as if they've played that badly in Adelaide, in Melbourne, I should say.
That's a very interesting point. I think people probably tend to overlook that. Anderson again will pump them towards full forward. Or Modra set himself but couldn't take it. Road intercepted, and they'll get out of trouble once again. Dyson takes it, the short pass from Yates, and will kick from the back pocket. Dyson towards half-back. Neats to Tingo. He goes towards centre wing. Andy Lovell can't keep it in play, and it goes over the line.
Have to qualify that a bit too, Sandy. It was mentioned during the panel show this morning that a few people didn't think they would deserve to be in the six, but I mean, you win enough games, you play well enough, you should be there. They deserve to have a crack at it.
Yep. Pittman leaves it. Lee tumbling it towards centre wing, but David Neitz takes it. It's been an impressive performance by this young man. He goes to half forward. Wren will drop back there. He did, but he couldn't take the mark. Grinter well beaten tonight. Lee towards McGuinness and Viney. This time the Melbourne man is the victor.
Todd Viney never gives up. Chips it in. Neither does this man, Andrew Obst. They really haven't done a lot at the centre bounce area tonight. Adelaide have won in that department. Oh, there he is again, Wren. Oh, he's tripped over there, but he's okay. I think he's the most promising big man to come into the game for a long, long time, Sean Wren. Ben Hart. Plenty of talent in this side, Sandy.
Yep.
Here's Jamison. Tregenza, very strong across the middle with Anderson and Tregenza on the wings. That's Anderson. Greg Anderson's been an outstanding player tonight. In towards Wiedemann. Can't mark. Tingay. Around the corner he goes to half forward. Matthew Phoebe. Andy Lovell. Can they score a goal here? Lovell sets it. Oh, look at this kick. Oh, it should have been the other man's mark. It should have been Sanderson, I think it is. No, it's not. Jamison there. It really should have been left to him, but Wren got in the way. But again, a poor kick, poor disposal there.
And Grin had gone completely the other side, Pete, and just ignored.
So the bounce in front of the Melbourne goal. They've been thrashed on the forward line tonight. Jakovic and Rodney Grinter have been very quiet. Gary Lyons tried hard, but he's been pretty quiet as well. And they haven't been fed out of the centre all that well tonight either. Adelaide, very impressive. 10 minutes of play left.
Hobson McDermott having another.
Had a good. But I'll give you one thing about both those players. Although they're both hard, they're very, very fair.
Andrew Hobson stepping on the umpire's foot. Is that a free kick?
He mightn't agree.
There's the bounce. Look at McDermott in there once again. Gee. They couldn't have picked a better leader, the Crows. And they picked this man. Led from the front at all times. Wren wins it, but gives it straight to his opposing big man, who has kicked it behind. The Big Jim kicks Melbourne's 9th behind, 5-9. It's
I think
pretty bleak scoreboard, isn't it?
Big Jim, I think he'll poll very well in the Brownlow medal this year, Sandy.
I think he might sleep well tonight too. Hart. Well, it eludes them all. Glenn Lovett chasing. He's under plenty of pressure from Anderson and Bickley. Look at that hand pass to David Brown. Exciting stuff as Brown runs the boundary line, kicks them inside 50. Rhodes sets himself, however, and takes the mark from Melbourne. Peter Rode from the back pocket. Oh, goes so dangerously. He's put pressure on Hopgood, who's dropped the ball. Rode goes in to help, but they've lost it. Brown takes the hand pass. Again, he goes into half forward. Wiedemann and Modra are both there. Phoebe forces it forward. Now loses it to Smart. He could kick this from 45 metres, but he's pulled it a little too far. One behind. 13-22. Well, almost sounds like a cricket score, doesn't it? 5-9. A most disappointing performance for Melbourne, and in particular for Neil Baum tonight, who would have dearly loved to have come back here and just shown what he could do with his Melbourne Chargers, and it's not to be. Some have suggested in the press recently you can get done for time wasting kicking a ball back into play. It could be an interesting thought. Tingay to Lovett. Melbourne drifted in towards the centre, and Andy Lovell, the juggler, goes away. Here's Lovell, a bounce as he goes down to the left half forward flank. Centering kick is not a good one, but overrunning it was Rashuto. Jamison applies the tackle. It's solid towards the boundary line. Phoebe is very close. This is Matthew. He stabs in towards full forward. No one able to take a mark, not even Brown, who was in the box seat to take it. But look at his recovery. And then he decides to head for a bit of safety. He finds it over the boundary line.
Forward pocket for Melbourne. They've only kicked 5 goals for the night. And that Adelaide defence has been superb. There's Andrew Obst. Taken away here by Rashuto. Down towards Wiedemann. Can't mark. Nigel Smart is there though. He gives it across the lip tack. That was good play. In towards Modra. Over the back, the race is on. Modra at Road. Modra, what can he do? He's got it. Quick hand pass smothered by Road. That was good play by Peter Road as he kicks it out towards Steve Tingay. Here comes Wiedemann. He's got him. And a good tackle. Sets it up for Liptak, who can chip it across towards half forward. And the mark has been taken by Brenton Sanderson. 55 metres from goal. Modra's one out. I think he's going the long kick though. Sanderson from directly in front, a high floating kick. Modra and Phoebe. Modra, and off the hands of both players for a behind of the Crows.
And what must be most worrying, Ross, for Neil Baum is that Melbourne's kicked only 2 goals in the second half.
Yeah, they've really dropped away, Sandy, which is credit to Adelaide. Their pressure's been very consistent and constant. But, gee, I mean, they really, even like this, they can't get much from a kick-out, Sandy. As I said before, they've had plenty of chances, 23 of them.
In fact, 2 so far in the second half, and booted only 3 in the first half. 3-5 at half-time. Goalless in the second quarter. Love it. Wide. Anderson has been superb all night. Got a hand to that too. Lyon is there, so too Phoebe. Anderson beat 2 of them. That's how well he's been going. And here comes the weed. Off to McGuinness, may go back again to the weed. Now he might kick this. He's a left footer from 55. Well, he went for the doctor. The goal umpire went to ground, and the one behind is the result.
The crowd love that, don't they?
Yes, and Tony McGuinness just acknowledging he should have handballed to Wiedemann. The other thing too, Sandy, on that point is their form coming into this game, Melbourne. That is, had a bye last week. The game before that was Brisbane. The Bears at Melbourne. Cricket ground on a Sunday. They didn't play particularly well, Melbourne, in that game. So they were just a bit underdone, really.
Tingay marks at halfback. Drifts it into the middle. Brett Lovett, Andy Lovell. Just gets his kick in time. Down towards the half-forward line. Cowell takes it eventually. But they're zigzagging from one side of the ground to the other. Grinter takes the mark. Been a quiet night for Rodney Grinter tonight. But he hasn't been on his own. 4 kicks, 4 marks. Grinter, 40 metres out, almost directly in front, and he has put through Melbourne's 6th goal. And it is Rodney Grinter's first. So Melbourne are 6-9-45, but they trail Adelaide 13-24-102.
Yes, well, they can salvage something, but not a lot. The horses bolted quite completely. Not much chance at all for Melbourne to, other than some players now perhaps playing for their position, which isn't a good thing. It's still very much a team game. They've just lost the plot all around the ground.
So Melbourne have kicked their 6th, 13-24 to 6-9. As he's Tony McGuinness for, well, he's had about 25 kicks. In fact, that was his 26th. To the half-forward line, stretch, caught. That could be holding the ball. No, play on, the umpire has called. A strong tackle. I think it was Liptak, was it? At the bottom of that pack? Yes. Let's have a look at this.
Chase and tackle that pace. He in the back a little bit, turned him around.
So a bounce 25 metres out from the Adelaide goal. Jimmy Steins is there to do battle. Smart gets it down. It was good play. Sanderson trying to get his boot to it. His lip tack. He can handball back. Smart was grabbed. Almost a free kick to Nigel Smart. Taken by Brown. Brown hooks it back in front and hits the post. So another behind to Adelaide. That is their 25th. Look at that scoring, 13-25 to 6-9. So a decisive victory, this one to Adelaide.
Straight down the middle. Viney pulled off the ball, couldn't take it cleanly. Oh, here's a chance for Jarman. He's been on and off the bench, and they've just registered their 26th behind. 13-26, 39 effective scoring shots to 15. It's been a one-sided affair. Phoebe again. Kicks straight down the middle. Mark almost to Wren. Steins working hard. Phoebe gives it across to Lovett. That was Matthew Phoebe. Lovett's kick up towards Grinter. He goes to ground, loses the football. Obbs tried to get it out. So to Andy Lovell. Is he clear? No, he's not. A cry of ball. Another cry of ball, and eventually a bounce will take place. Under 3.5 minutes remaining now. Adelaide in complete control. West Coast are also in control earlier today over Hawthorn and North Melbourne. Getting back on the winners list, far too good for the Tigers. There are 3 winners in these 3 big games in round 20 on this Sunday. Lyon do the ruck work up against Wren. Wren won it, but Lyon took it out. Down towards Andy Lovell in the pocket. He's going to run out of room. Still in play. And eventually McGuinness sees it over. So it's going to require some more all-important games next week to try and unravel the top 6 that are going to contend the finals. Here's Glenn Lovett. Oh, he's pulled that round his body very nicely indeed. But he's kicked only a behind.
He's probably been their best player, and he's had probably, I'd say, 30-odd touches. Very close to that, and he's battled very hard, but they just haven't been able to capitalise on his hard work.
Rodney Jamison chips it in, and another mark. Well, there's Greg Anderson. Great game. 9 marks, 19 kicks, 5 handballs. Wiedemann socket away by Gary Lyon. Jimmy Stein showing some soccer skills as well. To the half-forward line, but this is where they've fallen down badly tonight. Melbourne, that was Greg Anderson, another kick. That was kick number 20. So centre wing, another throw-in. And the Melbourne players will be glad to get off the ground, I think. It's been a pretty ordinary effort. Wren grabs it out of that ruck contest onto Tony McGuinness. Quick kick lands in the hands of Brett Lovett. Now Lovett clears it out towards half forward. Andy Lovell at the back. Jarman, great handball. Bickley to the half forward line. And Nigel Smart, a diving mark. Now he'll go the long kick here. Modra is one out. Now he brings it out wide to the half forward line. Modra! Yes. Terrific lead. And a great kick by Smart.
Yes, so Smart to take that mark initially was quite outstanding. His athleticism has been well recorded, but the pace at this stage of the game, terrific. And you see how he got up so quickly, turned around, and then waited for the lead from Modra, who pushed himself a fair way in the pocket. Actually, he could have come up the ground a bit further.
Now, Sandy, would you back him this time? Put you in the hot seat.
Yes.
Well, he's kicked 4. 4-7.
The odds suggest that he could.
Well, here's the kick from Tony Modra. Oh, he's missed it again. It's 4-8, Ross.
Correct, Pete.
4 goals, 8. And he is not happy with himself, even though the side has had a terrific victory.
Glad we're not professional punters, Pete. To half-back. Stretch in front of Anderson. No one able to take the mark. Viney. Wide on half-back. Inside to Tingay. Melbourne will be put out of their misery in just a couple of minutes. Love it. Oh, it is misery. Dyson can't pick it up. It's all over. A very, very big win to the Adelaide Crows, who continue their march to the finals. 13-27, quite an extraordinary scoreboard. 13-27, 105 to a very disappointing 6-10, 46 to the Melbourne side. Wiedemann booted 3, Modra kicked 4 goals, 8, whilst for Melbourne, their only multiple scorer, in fact, was Andrew Obst. He kicked 2 of those. Let's go down to the ground. Here's Maxie with Tony McGuinness. Max?
Tony, congratulations. I mean, it could be the turning point for you as far as the finals are concerned.
Well, we hope so, Max. I mean, the last couple of weeks have been very disappointing, and we really were under the hammer today. A lot of pressure, and everybody could feel it in the rooms before. It was a game we needed to win, so we're still in the ball game.
And for you personally, it'd be nice to play in the finals, wouldn't it, after your stint with Footscray?
Well, it's been a long time since I left Glenelg, 8 years, so it was a Footscray, but to be there, that's for sure.
Just tell me, kicking for goal tonight, went astray quite a few times, probably Tony Modra, 4 goals, but all around the ground from a lot of players. Was it the wind there tonight?
Well, we're under a lot of pressure early, and I think to Melbourne's credit, they kept at us all night. I mean, it's pretty swirly conditions out here, but that's no excuse. I mean, we should have put through a lot more goals, that's for sure.
Well, Alan Jakovic came in, Ben Hart today, did a great effort there.
Great player, Ben Hart, Nigel Smart, Rennie in the centre. I mean, all our young blokes are really performing. So now we've got to turn it on in Melbourne. I mean, we know how the public are viewing us in Melbourne, so we really have to improve there and try and get a win this week against Hawthorn.
A couple of weeks ago, Wayne Wiedemann may have been at the crossroads, came back into the side. I mean, he did show some great form tonight.
Really gave us a spark up forward, and all we need is to get the same from Weed away from home. I'm sure he'll put in a great game next week. We still need to win one of the next 2, I think, to get in, so we're still under the hammer, but we're around the mark, that's for sure.
Congratulations, well done tonight, Tony.
Thanks, Max.
Yes, thank you, Max, with Tony McGuinness. Yes, they are threatening. There is no doubt about that. Just checking the final score once again. Adelaide are big winners, 13-27, 105. Melbourne, 6-10, 46.
The name of the game is Australia.
They've done it in style, 13-27, 105. Melbourne, a most disappointing 6-10, 46. Roscoe, 14 scoring shots to 16. Just about says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, without doubt, which I know wouldn't please Graham Cornsall that much, because they could have accumulated a greater percentage, but they've won the game, which is the most important thing. And I think the other thing which is very good is the fact that all their players, I think without anyone really, without exception, performed well, did their job as required, and just nullified the effectiveness of the better players from Melbourne. Even though someone like Glenn Lovett ended up with perhaps 30 possessions, they weren't overly telling ones, because he was defending most of the time across half back through the centre under pressure. Obbs found it hard to get into the game. He was tagging initially McDermott, then finished up on the forward line for the second half. Gary Lyon on screen. I mean, he always tries hard, but when you're not getting the ball delivered from half back through the centre to you often enough and with some sort of precision, then you find it very difficult. Pittman then, the excellent effort. I mean, Anderson across the centre was just terrific. I mean, he got the ball on the ground, in the air. Modra 4-8. I mean, he got the ball often enough, which is another good sign. So long as their players are getting the footy, you can turn around those little things like your kicking, your handball, and if you're not getting the footy, that makes it difficult. Off the ground, good play there by Liptak, and then recovery and effort. I mean, I thought Phoebe did quite well, actually, Sandy, considering the opportunities that were down there towards Modra. Jarman struggled a bit, but what he did in some areas was constructive. Brown came into the game in the second half. The good thing that Adelaide have got, Sandy, they've got a few left footers, which puts the opposition team off a bit. Wiedemann, Brown, Jamison kicks well both feet, and Wiedemann, I mean, that bloke, he half forward.
Would Cornsey, do you think, perhaps continue to play a player like Jarman off the bench during the finals? We just have a look at some of the stats.
Well, I think it would be a very good idea to do that, and particularly with the way Wiedemann played. Statistically, you'd expect Adelaide to be pretty well in front. Not only that, but the way they use them. And Melbourne still got the ball a bit, but they were just ineffectual possessions and hit-outs. Whilst it looks fairly even, Wren was pretty much outstanding around the ground, and centre breaks favoured Adelaide a little, and Melbourne, again, Sandy, they got the ball out of the middle a bit, but they had no one across half forward to take them up.
And, of course, Jimmy Steins left the ground for some time to have those stitches inserted above the gash.
I mean, McGuinness, over 30 touches, Anderson, Tregenza, Brown, all the way through. Smart, not doing a whole lot, but just enough, and he takes a good player away from someone else. Bickley, a quieter game, finished off on half back. back. Richudo early was very, very good, so that's why I'm talking about that evenness. Lee from the back pocket did very well. And there's Glenn Love at the top there.
He tried his hardest.
Well, 39 touches is just fantastic, but he needed more support, which he didn't get. Viney ended up tagging McGuinness again. 22 touches from Lyon, 18. Hopgood battled hard. Cow went off an injury, so they really didn't have anyone to give them some quality.
Well, I'm sure there's great interest wherever you may be viewing about the ladder. We'll take a break and then be back to check it out.
The name of the game is Australia.
Premiership season league ladder.
Yes, great interest surrounding the ladder at the moment. Essendon, West Coast and North are the top three. Carlton are in 4th spot. Adelaide, by virtue of their big win tonight, have moved to 5th on the ladder with a healthy percentage. Hawthorn is clinging to 6th spot. And out of the 6, the Pies on percentage. And Geelong also a game, having had the bye this week, and percentage. So some big games next week. Let's have a quick look at these. There are some rippers. Collingwood plays Carlton. Geelong plays Essendon. Hawthorn plays Adelaide. What a game that one is now going to be. Footscray plays West Coast. Fitzroy plays Brisbane, whilst on Sunday, 2 games. Sydney plays North Melbourne and Richmond plays Melbourne, with St Kilda having the bye. So it's all over here at Football Park. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. The Crows successful by 59 points.
This has been a 7 Sports production. Football 93, proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, BP Australia, Carlton and United Breweries, Telecom Australia, McDonald's, Nike, Ansett Australia and Foodland. Thursday.